Tuesday, February 17th. This is Easton, Massachusetts Zoning Board of Appeals. I am the chair, Ryan Cook. We have quite a bit in the docket tonight. I'm glad to see so many folks from the public here. I'm just going to lay a couple of ground rules really quickly for when we get big crowds. One, we love big crowds. Two, I want to make sure everybody has a chance to have the opportunity to be heard. So if you've never been to a town committee meeting or anything like that, I'll just go over the rules really quickly. Is you'll raise your hand, be recognized by the chair, which is me. You'll go over to the microphone right there, and you will clearly state your name and your address for the record. That way, when we're putting our public meeting notes together, we're properly getting a record of who spoke and where they're from. I want to give everybody a chance to speak. If I start hearing the same stuff over and over and over again, don't be angry if I cut you off, because we have quite a bit in the docket tonight. We want to make sure everybody has the opportunity. So if a point has already been made, no need to get up and repeat it. Okay? All right. Everybody good with that? Fantastic. Okay. We'll wait until we actually. We're going to start off with the 459 Foundry Street. Oh, actually, yeah, 459. Are the folks with 459 Foundry Street here?
I am, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, so sitting on the board tonight, Mr. John Curran, all the way, well, I'll introduce everybody, and then I'll say if they're sitting on the board tonight as opposed to an alternate. All the way to my far right, Mr. John Curran, Vice Chair. To his left, Jean Rummel. To her left, Mr. Tom Skinner, who will be on the hearing tonight. To my immediate right, Mr. Jeremy Kay, who is the clerk, who will be sitting this evening. To my left, Mr. Ronald Handberger, who will be sitting. And then to his left, Miriam Gailey, who is an alternate for this evening. Whenever you are ready, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, I didn't even read into the record. So, Mr. Kay, you want to read this one in the record, please?
I will. The Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Easton Town Hall, Colleen Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. on the petition of Dominica Tatascori for Selco Partnerships doing business as Verizon Wireless. The petitioner, Crown Castle USA, Inc., and Stephen R. and Deborah A. Tufts, owners, for property located at 459 Foundry Street, Easton, Mass. Assessors map 45U, lot 44, for a special permit modification pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 9, and Easton Code Book, Section 235-56, and Section 235-33, capital E, to modify the existing wireless facility through the collocation, replacement, and or removal of equipment as an eligible facilities request for a minor modification under Section 6409 and the rules of the Federal Communications Commission. The agenda will be posted at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting. Public comments or comments. Affordable Housing Trust, not applicable. Board of Health, not applicable. Buildings Department, no comment listed. DPW recommended. Environmental Planner, not applicable. Fire Department recommended. Historical Commission, not applicable. Planning and Zoning Board recommended. Police Department recommended. Water Division, not applicable.
We're good? All right, ma'am, whenever you are ready.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Dominica Tatascori. I work for Crown Castle, which is a company that owns over 40,000 cell towers nationwide. Currently, my application is for a special permit at 459 Foundry Street. It's pertaining to Verizon Selco. It's which is an existing carrier at the 100-foot center line, so the third rad down of the telecommunications lattice tower, and the tower is 145 feet. And it's located behind Route 106 Enterprises Collision Repair Shop and east of the Shaw's Plaza. Crown Castle owns the tower, and the property is privately owned with an active lease to 2051. As you are probably aware, telecommunication equipment upgrades are common and desired as technology changes to better provide better telecommunication services to residences, businesses, and first responders. And I believe that Verizon hasn't changed equipment here or upgraded in 10 years, so you're very much overdue. Verizon currently has 7 antennas at the 100-foot center line of the tower. The proposed scope of work for the tower involves replacing the existing mount with a new one, installing 5 new antennas, so there'll be a 12 total, and by installing 3 radios. The only piece of ground equipment proposed is just a new cable that will be suspended under the ice bridge, so there's no trenching or digging. There's no proposed change to tower height or compound size. One of the materials submitted in addition to construction drawings of the application was a passing structural report at 74.7%. And the application constitutes a by right application per the FCC's eligible facilities request regulations and does not constitute a substantial change to the tower.
Okay, fantastic. Any members of the public looking to comment on this? Okay, we'll start with the board. Mr. Carn, you got anything for us?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, Mr. Skinner?
No additional questions.
Mr. Kay?
Is there any downside to this?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, you're going to be getting better signal and communication. It's going to increase 5 antennas and more updated technology, so we better reception overall.
That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Hamburger?
Nothing from me.
Okay, nothing from me. I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Move to close the hearing.
Mr. Skinner?
Second.
Mr. Hamburger, second. All those in favor? All right, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the application.
We have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Karn, second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right, we like them quick. All right. Yeah. All right, next, special permit 26-61407. Let's pull that up. This is
We're on 305.
305 Turnpike Street. Are the folks for 305 Turnpike Street here? Okay. Mr. Kay, you want to read this one into the record?
I will. The Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 17, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Easton Town Hall, Colleen Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. on the petition of Ignite Communities, LLC, care of Alexander Cabot, petitioner, and Crown Communities, LLC, owner, for property located at 305 Turnpike Street, Easton, Mass. Assessors map 47U, Lot 30, for a special permit pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 9, and Easton Code Book, Sections 235-20 and 235-21, for the demolition, removal, replacement, and continued utilization of 43 pre-existing non-conforming mobile home sites on the premises. The agenda will be posted at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting. Comments? Affordable Housing Trust, not available. Board of Health recommends. Building Department says incomplete. Applicant has still not applied for demolition permits for the units that were removed without permits. DPW, no comment listed. Environmental Planner recommends. Fire Department, no comment listed. Historical Commission, not applicable. Planning and Zoning Board recommends. Police Department recommends. Water Division recommended. That is all.
All right, applicant, if you are ready.
Well, we do know that they are on Zoom call. That would be Alex Cabot. We were stating that they were going to be on Zoom call. We are just residents of the HOA board.
We don't do Zooms for these meetings.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Okay. We have several units that,
Well, hold on. So, yeah, if you want to state your name, but typically you're a resident, you're not an applicant.
well, I'm the HOA board, and we were just here to basically follow up with this.
Right, but you're not the applicant.
No, we are not, so we can't do anything, and
Yeah,
this is
so
just
you
a waste of
can't
our
do it,
time.
so it's just not worth going. So, how do you want to handle this?
So they did submit the, narrative that you guys have in your packet today, just describing the whole purpose for doing this is because the sites are considered pre-existing non-conforming structures. And in order to demolish, remove them, and reuse the sites for newer homes, newer structures, you need to have a special permit in hand to protect that pre-existing legal non-conforming status. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to put anything back in their place. And so that's what they're doing here. And there are 43 sites that were identified on their plan. And so that's what they're doing here, is to make sure that they can remove those that they've identified as having issues and be able to put similar ones back in the same spot.
So, my question there would be, I have sold units in there, and sometimes it's a question on title, on who actually owns the land. Have they clarified that they own all of those 43? They have clear title on all those pieces of land?
So mobile homes, as I've been described, they're like car ownership. So the title.
No,
land
no, no,
itself,
I understand, but the land itself?
Yeah, they own it. Yes.
Okay. So then I want to make sure.
Yep.
Since the applicant isn't here, this is a first. Typically, with no applicant here, we would move on. How do you want to handle that?
Well, he's in California, and he had a local rep that was supposed to come. I don't know the status of that, but he wasn't at the Planning and Zoning Board meeting either, just because of, again, being out in California with a 4-hour time difference.
I think we're the local reps that they wanted because we work with them,
Yeah.
and they told us, they'd appreciate us coming to this meeting. And I think it was just to make sure that the HOA and Crown are on the same.
Wait, so hold on. So one, you got to be at the microphone because this is publicly, it says being broadcast. So when you're sitting there, I can hear you fine. Folks in the television world can't. So again, name, address,
Okay.
and if you need to lower that, feel free to. If you want to take it off the stand and walk around.
I'll just hold it, I'm sure.
I did not. I said she could adjust it. Just don't spike it. That's all I'm
Oh, no,
saying.
no, not
Okay.
at all.
No mic drops.
I'm Susan White. I do live at 305 Turnpike Street. I am in trailer 204, which is on 5th Street. So Crown, Alex, and Ellen and I work with also Angela, who's our property manager now now it's called Stonehill Court, used to be Easton Mobile Home Park. So we work hand in hand with them since, like you said, they are out of state. And so their main office for us is in Michigan. So that's why they have the local presence of the two of us, the president and vice president of the HOA here today. So I apologize for that confusion. But basically, we're here to just kind of implore upon the board to grant what they need to get done. We have so many issues. When we have vacant trailers, and this has been going on for years, and everyone in the town suffers because of it, we will get squatters. And unfortunately, these people are people addicted to drugs, alcohol issues, violent issues, mental health issues. And, well, it's not safe. And when they need money, we know, because we will see them walking around the streets that we live on. And that's basically to scope out and see if we possibly have anything they could take to get their drug money, to get their fix. And it's unsafe because we have so many elder seniors. Our oldest is 98 years old, God bless her. And she's 2 trailers away from me, so we keep a good eye on her, the neighborhood, because she does live by herself. And we have another resident who's my direct neighbor, 76, and she's basically handicapped. She gets around with a cane, but now she has a lot of assistance coming to her daily to help her to remain independent. And I have another woman on my other side who's in her 80s. God love her. She's doing well and can drive still, so it's a good thing, where the other ones cannot. I also have a son that's disabled with autism, and he's nonverbal, and he goes to the ARC here in Easton, and they can always vouch for me and my son. It's a dangerous situation when you live in an area like this, because even though you're not exactly right next to it, you're still part of that, and you will see them. We have seen all kinds of things that are just awful. I'm going on 3 years living there, and I will tell you, one of the vacant homes that Crown is desperately trying to get approval on to take down does not have a roof. We had a gentleman that lived there with a drug problem, got out of jail, and he OD'd in that home. So this is what we're talking about when we're here to represent Crown, because the best voices to hear are the people that live there and can tell you the story of that park and how we just don't want it anymore. We're tired, and we shouldn't have to move. We should be eliminating vacant units immediately so we don't keep this problem of squatters with drug issues. We just need to stop the crime, and we need to feel safe, and it's not fair to our elders that some of them don't have children or their spouses anymore to check on them, so it's up to us to do the checking to make sure they're okay and no one's doing anything to them. So we're asking you and imploring upon you, really, to let that special license they need to get those vacant units out of there. They're nothing but trouble for us. There's a lot of theft. You know, we've seen people come by to those vacant units. They'll tear down a door. They will tear down siding. It's ridiculous. So it's just a lot of criminal activity. And we're just here to make sure you know that it's also structurally unsound. A lot of these units, they're actually trailers in the front. They're not mobile homes where there's a concrete slab and they have hurricane straps to them, like ours. These ones are campers that you should take your family for a weekend or something. They're not sitting on any type of platform. They're probably now just sitting in dirt, because I'm sure those tires are completely flat, considering the age of them, and they've just had gross additions put on them over the years. But it just needs to be a mobile home park with no actual camping trailer that you can just hitch up to a pickup truck. And we're just here to ask you and implore upon you to think about the well-being of the residents of the town of Easton and the ones that live in the park as well, especially our elderly and the disabled. And that's really what we were here for.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other members of the public? Okay, we'll start with members of the board. Any questions, Mr. Curran?
Yeah, I have a couple. So I think you answered this question, but there are 43 structures that they want to tear down and then build new structures. This is the owner of the property that's located in Michigan or California.
They're actually all over. They have their manufacturing company, I'm pretty sure is in Pennsylvania. They have a site in California, and the management company is also in Michigan. But they are out constantly, except for this past winter.
Okay.
We've all lived through this, so they haven't been out since December.
And we're talking about 43 units, correct?
Right now, we are looking at 3 that are structurally unsound. Unit 15A. Oh, thank you. Okay, we're gonna get back up, and I don't need to shrink this, I'm tall enough for this. We're looking at Unit 15A on 2nd Street. We're also looking at 18 on 3rd Street and Unit 9 on 1st Street. Unit 9 has no roof. There's still electricity going into this building. We're working with National Grid to try and find the meter to have the electricity turned off so we can at least empty the trailer. We have Unit 15B. We don't know if electricity is still going into it. Everything is so antiquated and hidden with all of these trailers. These are campers, and they're literally sitting on the ground. So this is what we're trying to battle, the amount of snow we've been given. God bless Mother Nature. And we've located 1 meter for Unit 9. We're working on 15B and Unit 18. 18 is the one that literally has no roof. It's structurally unsound. With the winds we get, the weather we've been getting, it's going to fall over. There's houses on either side.
So
So
three,
really quick, can you just make sure you state your name and
My name
address
is
for-
Ellen Gordon. I'm the president of the HOA board.
Excellent, thank you.
This is all new to me, folks.
Yes.
Okay? You're quite intimidating.
so 3 of the units are vacant.
These 3 are currently vacant at this
The
point in
others
time.
are occupied.
Some are occupied, some are occupied illegally, and that they're trying to work through, and that will be worked through before the end of the month. I know there's another meeting here.
So then the question I should be posing is vacant on our, how many of them are occupied legitimately by people that are supposed to be there because they have a lease with the owner or?
None.
Probably a handful, maybe 5 or 6 of them, and the rest are,
So do you want to stand up and go to the microphone?
Maybe
Well,
we
but
should both-
these were illegal, these
I
were
understand,
sales
but
that did not go through
I
the deeds
understand, but it's
office.
so that the public can hear.
Yes,
That's all.
okay, so we're gonna both stand.
okay.
There we go, lower it for you.
I know. Hi. So what we have is, since these trailers weren't removed, when the person that prior owned them had passed, you're going to find with the registries of deeds in Taunton, you're going to find names of deceased people for these trailers that somehow people are occupying them, but they never made a purchase. There's nothing in their name for the title because they just
Well,
Squatters, they moved
title.
in.
There's no title for them. It's a bill of sale.
Bill of sale.
bill of sale. They don't have them.
Yeah.
And that's what we're dealing with. A lot of people that think
They just moved in.
they just moved in and they never paid lot rent. They don't contribute to anything. They're like the cancer of the park. It's like, oh, great, another one. That's what we deal with.
What's the name of the owner again?
Crown
Crown.
Ignite.
Chronic. How long have they owned that property?
Just got it November of last year, mid-November. Was it
It's been an
November
ongoing
1st?
saga with this.
Yeah,
I mean, I've read stuff here and there. I know they've had issues with the wetlands over there and sewage.
Everything.
Yeah,
A lot of
everything.
the utilities to
It's a
those
nightmare.
sites.
it's a nightmare.
Right.
And if it helps, Mr. Chair, Kate Federoff, Town Council, the meeting that they're referring to, which is coming up, is it a week? Yeah, exactly, in a week, is with the Rent Control Board, whereby certain eviction proceedings are going to happen. The Rent Control Board issues certificates of eviction, then you have to go through the court process, if that helps.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, no, that was something I was going to ask about. So if there are certain individuals who are legitimately there and their trailer home is going to be torn down and rebuilt, what provisions are being made for them while?
That would be something through Crown that would
Yeah.
be dealt with. If they are legitimately there and they're paying their rent, then that's something they can work with financing to get a new trailer.
Yeah.
They are working with specific residents that have a history of paying their rent and
Yeah.
do own legally, but that now they're saying, okay, you're gonna get an upgrade and we're gonna work with financing with you.
Right.
And we know of 3 or 4 right in that front area
Yeah.
that are working towards that.
Yeah, they are definitely going to work with the residents who have good credit and who have been paying their lot rent. They definitely will work with them. They don't have a problem with that, but they do have to get rid of the squatters so they can get started to get this park in shape to where it needs to be. And when they replace the units, they are also replacing driveways. They're going to have all new trailers and all new road and new sewage pipes, and
Yeah,
this
that's-
is their
they're gonna
goal.
Pour new pads and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so they're going to be pristine. They are not trying to fix anything that you see existing on 138. They want all of that gone. That's not what they want. They want it cleaned up, out of there.
Right, so these 43 units are non-conforming, just in terms of the size and whatnot. My question is, as a result of what the owner contemplates doing, are they going to be even more non-conforming than they already are? In terms of the size or the amount of space they're taking up on the individual lot?
I think some of it has to change. I don't think First Street is a good plan, and I don't think they want First Street because it's so close together. They don't really have parking, so that just isn't ideal. That's trailers, campers, and they
2
just,
feet apart.
yeah, you could just go in and touch someone from your unit to the next.
Right.
I mean, if one goes on fire, they're all gone.
Right.
Yeah, there's no,
And that's the
you know.
concern with the abandoned trailers and being so structurally unsound. It blows over, it's knocking 5 others over on either side.
So is what you're saying that the way they're situated now, there's really little opportunity to make the structures bigger than they already are?
Well, the way they're set up, no,
yeah,
you couldn't make
you
it.
couldn't make them better.
Question is that
You'd have to build condos.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I don't have any other questions right now.
Mr. Skinner?
The only question I know, Jeremy, you mentioned it, but the only thing I worry about is like when we're talking about new replacement units, and and it was mentioned multiple times about keeping the affordable housing to it. I worry that like when we go to replace, obviously we have to replace. It sounds like it has to be replaced, but also
Yes, it does.
maintaining an affordable housing stock in town. And that's, I guess that's the only concern I have, like, that I would have done to the owners to do that is, what's the plan? But it kind of sounds like it's very ambiguous out there as well. It's more fixing one issue and then going to the next.
Well, they're willing to work with the residents that are there, that are paying lot rent and have been there a long time, and they're, good people. Those people they're going to be working with. So individually, I don't know if they're going to change some things to make it easier, especially for their elderly, because they're really good people there. And it's a shame in their elder years that it's not a safe community for them. It's really a sad thing to see.
Thanks. That's all I have.
Okay.
Have you found that Crown Communities has been good to work with since they took over?
they've been excellent to work with.
They've been excellent,
They have been excellent. They've been on top of things right up until the freeze.
Yeah.
Alex and Heath, Angie with the management company, M. Shapiro, they've been great. It's just been a really hard winter.
I'm curious, how did it end up that they sent you here to advocate for them?
We actually work with them, the property manager, Angela, a lot. And so anything that comes up, we talk to them, especially it's you, really, that talks to her. She's the mouthpiece. And so things like this, when they take place, if they're not going to be here, we're going to be asked to step in. And we most certainly.
We were told they were going to be on a
Yeah,
Zoom call.
that's what we thought. So, again, it's the same goal, and the goal is to improve the park, quality of life, and definitely to make this something to be proud to live in. And right now, it's
And
just
to
not
change
that.
the front of the park. When you
Completely,
drive down 138.
completely, they want to change that. That's just so
that's
awful.
a big deal right now.
That's awful.
For everyone. That's not a good look.
No.
I feel like I should be asking them this, but there was the comment from the building department that the applicant has still not applied for the demolition permits for the units.
Demolition permit, that's what I
The
was gonna ask you.
demolition permit. Okay, yep.
Demo permits,
the demo
okay.
permit.
And
I
if
will
it
get on
ha-
that tomorrow
If it
morning.
helps, yeah, you can make it a condition of your approval to require them to obtain the appropriate demolition permits for the trailers that were removed without
Yeah.
permission.
Now, is that an individual permit per, or is it one permit?
Well,
for
whatever they decide the permit application is
Okay.
for.
Okay.
So if it's
So
for
this
all
would be for
43
demo.
units, and then that demo would encompass, and part of there, they'd probably pick out what specific lots, and they'd identify them specifically.
Okay,
so
because right
that-
now, I think it's just the 3 I listed 15A, 9, and 18 that they're looking to take down right now.
Yeah.
Mr.
I
Chair?
think they just got rid of the dumpster.
Yes, we're getting a new
So-
one brought in.
We should be
Mrs.
trying to
Skinner?
get a new one for the.
Just something I brought up that you, and I think Jeremy, you brought it, or you brought it up too, is we're talking with an HOA. We're not talking with the owner. I don't see where the HOA has a voice of the owner of the property, considering they weren't on. They weren't at the, they weren't at the other meetings, and they haven't sent a responsibility, and there was an under assumption that they were going to be on Zoom. I guess I'm kind of souring my kind of taste on it, because if they're not willing to be
So let me
here,
clarify a little bit.
I don't know.
If an applicant puts in and it's on the agenda and they don't show up,
we have to assume.
well, it doesn't mean
Okay.
we just bypass. I mean, we
Okay.
can make a decision.
Okay, I
We
wasn't
don't
sure.
need them here.
Okay.
The challenge is that as fine a job as the HOA is doing, the questions I have, they're not going to be able to answer.
Yeah,
And
that's
and
where
I don't want to
getting
put
at.
you in that
No,
spot.
That's
fine.
I think that's where I'm at too.
But
So
it doesn't mean we couldn't rule. It doesn't mean
Okay.
we couldn't do all sorts of things.
okay,
They're not required to be here. It's better so that we can ask them questions, get clarification. But if they're not here, it doesn't mean we can't render a decision in
Okay.
some way, shape, or form.
fair.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the owner should be thanking you for coming in and advocating for them.
Yeah, maybe a year's free
again,
lot rent.
Hey, that's on record now. So.
Yeah. Mr. Hamburger, do you have any questions?
Yeah, my concerns, who owns the individual trailers that you want demolished?
These,
Is it the corporation or is it,
They own the land.
they
yeah.
own, I understand. I'm very familiar with mobile home parks.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, okay.
And typically, the owner owns the land, rents the land to a resident that has a semi-mobile home.
Yeah.
And then they pay
The lot rent.
the lot rent and however the utilities are worked out, and common area maintenance and all that stuff. I'm just, of these 43 units, how many does the corporation own, have title to the trailer itself?
Well, that's the question. I don't think they have them all yet, but I will tell you, I've never seen so much crooked people until I moved into this park. I mean, we have one resident who has a drug problem. Her and her boyfriend have been.
Well, I don't want to get into talking about folks
Yeah,
here.
we
We
know
want to
we're
stick
not
to the
gonna
facts.
We're not going to
Yeah.
give you the unit or anything,
Yeah.
but I just want to tell you, she lives in a trailer. We know she doesn't own it. The prior owner was an elderly woman who was sick, and I believe her son hired her to help her. She passed, and she stayed.
And the son passed away.
And the son passed away. He got cancer. He passed away. So this is what we're talking about. We have a lot of places we know. We see people living in them, and we know they just shouldn't be there. We know it. We don't have to
The original
go
owners are now long gone.
deceased.
And what happens when you bring those concerns to Crown Communities?
We are making them aware
We're
of
making
all
them
of it.
aware of the units because they need to know which units.
Because they came in blind, just
Yes.
like you guys are sitting here almost blind.
Yeah, they didn't know.
We could take a walk down the road and I could tell you
Yeah.
exactly who and what
We
and
can
where.
pin, yeah, we can tell you
And-
each one that's owned and which one is not, yes.
Anybody else have any further questions on the board?
Nope.
I had a question for town council.
I'll try to answer.
Well, here's the challenge is that, something like this, the first one with a tower, that's more, it's federal regulation, it's a courtesy that they were here.
Got to do it, yeah.
Got to do it. This one, I want to step through the elements of special permit. And, social economic community needs, pretty clear. Traffic flow, safety, including parking and loading. I have no answers because there's no one here to answer it. Adequacy of utilities, I know that's a challenge in that park. I have no one here to answer any questions. So my question to you before we close the public hearing is, how should we handle that?
Well, I mean, I certainly expected Crown to attend tonight. And I think the point on ownership is a really good one and probably something that they would have an easy response to. And I know that it's actually so frustrating for everyone here because every time I talk about the park, I get a little teary because you guys are just so wonderful and you're advocating for yourself. But in any event, it is pretty upsetting that they're not here, and maybe there was a miscommunication about their accessibility via Zoom. But I think if there are questions that are unanswered, rather than make an adverse decision, I would much rather see you continue the public hearing for a time when they can present that evidence about ownership, about access, and
Because there's
all
just
of
far
those
too many
things.
questions.
Because one of the things that you all are looking at, and I think maybe it was Mr. Curran who spoke to this, what exactly are you replacing it with? Because one of the things you look at for a non-conforming use is essentially, does it resemble what was there before? Okay, it might be a different make or model or something like that because times change, right? Or it might be the footprint is a hair over, a foot here, a foot there, but we don't have them here to answer
I would like to
those
have Crown
questions.
or a representative of Crown.
Yeah.
These ladies did a wonderful job.
Thanks.
They're not attorneys or engineers. Right, so, I mean, that's the challenge. I don't think we're gonna get the answers we need as hard as they tried. And it's really not because, listen, I think anybody who's lived in town for any period of time knows it's been problem with ownership, and then ownership failing, and then them like having no recourse,
Yeah.
so we get it. But part of it doesn't mean that, well, there's a new owner, new sheriff in town, blank check, do whatever you want. Like,
No.
we want to make sure that all these safety concerns, et cetera. So if they need to be here, or they need to have counsel we can ask questions of, who can step through the special permit and help us understand what they're going to do.
Right.
So I guess what I'll do is I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Well, if you're going to continue it, don't close the hearing.
Well, okay, all right, so that's what I was gonna ask is, what do we do first? We're gonna,
So you'll leave the hearing open, and it will stay open until the next time you come back, at which point they can answer your questions and provide evidence to the board. And at that point, that's when you'll close the hearing. So you would continue the public hearing
well, do
to
we
a
need to
date.
take a vote to do a continue?
Yes,
Okay.
you would need to make a motion to continue the public hearing to, when's your next meeting? March 17th at 6 PM in the Colleen Corona Room.
Yeah. All right, so we're looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing to March 17. Typically, the start time is 6:30.
Oh, 6:30.
6:30, but I'll move to continue the public hearing to 6:30 on March 17.
Okay, we have a motion,
The motion, I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Skinner. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? All right, so this will be continued. So whoever you got to talk to.
Yes,
Oh, no, we're gonna get them here.
we will.
Yeah, either they're here, but just understand though, it's not just a matter of them getting here, like, they gotta have the information to,
Is there
master
any
in
way
law,
we can get a printout of what information they're gonna
it's a
need to
special
provide?
permit, MGL 40A, section 9. 40A, section 9, special permit, and there are 6 criteria in there specifically that they need to be able to answer. So that means they need to, they have drawings here, but they're gonna need realistically engineering drawings, so we know where stuff is.
Okay.
There's gotta be some sort of traffic flow and safety, there's, what's going on with utilities.
We do have
especially-
like a generic map of the park.
No, I mean, they really need to hire professionals who are local around here to make sure we got all this squared away for them, not to make things hard, but, and I'm not gonna tell them what to do, but they need to hire
you
someone, they need to hire someone local.
Yep.
An attorney to guide them how to get this through,
Okay,
so,
Sounds good.
local attorney.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
okay,
I can talk to you too.
Yeah.
I'll step up.
okay. Okay, moving
Yeah, let me
on.
grab it.
I'm gonna grab all my bags.
All right, next up is 213 Bay Road. Are folks for 213 Bay Road here? I'm sorry?
Public hearing.
Well, I understand, but I'm just checking to see if they're here.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, Mr. Kay, you want to read this into the public record, please?
Ready to go. The Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 17, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Easton Town Hall, Colleen Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. On the petition of Henrietta Abramovich, petitioner, and Robert and Nancy Gildersleeve, owners, for property located at 213 Bay Road, Easton, Massachusetts, Assessors Map 5R Lot 35D for special permit modification pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 9, and Easton Code Book, Section 235-56 and Section 235-13, Capital D, Appendix A1, Table of Use Regulations, Capital H6 and Capital I8 to transfer an existing special permit to continue operating a dog kennel and daycare on the premises. The existing permit is recorded in Book 28286, page 118, at the Registry of Deeds, presumably. And comments. Affordable Housing Trust, not applicable. Board of Health, not recommended. Building Department, no comment. DPW, no comment. Environmental Planner recommends. Fire Department, no comment. Historical Commission, not applicable. Planning and Zoning Board recommends. Police Department, complete. Water Department, not applicable. That is all.
All right, sitting on this hearing, do you mind sitting out on this one so we can get an alternate in here?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Curran, Ms. Rummel, you want to sit on this one?
Sure.
Mr. Skinner, Mr. Kay, and myself. And Mr. Hamburger's going to sit this one out so Jean can sit in. Okay. As the applicant here?
Yep.
Come on up to the microphone.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm actually the representative for the applicant. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here. She did send to Mr. Kirkland a video that we were hoping that we could project onto the screens, as she did want to give some kind of personal message to the
Fun.
board.
Do we have access to be able to do that?
If you want me to go grab
Yeah, sure. As long as it's not 20 minutes long.
It is not. I made
2
sure
minutes
she
and-
kept it. I made sure she kept it very short and sweet. But I guess I can continue and just kind of give you information on why I'm standing here and who I am. My name is Valerie Mulcha. I am the broker owner of Modern Nest Group. I am brokering both sides of the sale of 213 Bay Road, and as part of the condition of the sale, the buyer, Henrietta Abramovich, is looking to be able to continue this kennel license. It does hold a bachelor's of science in veterinarian sciences. She currently works as a veterinary technician, and she would be leaving that job in order to take on this endeavor. So obviously that's a big impact on the purchase. I actually have also known Henrietta for over 15 years, or actually over 20 years. So, you know, if there's any questions about character or what have you, I'm happy to give you any kind of information. And I'm very well aware of, you know, what her plans are. And her plans are essentially to do nothing differently than what the current homeowners are doing. They've spent quite a bit of time together already in just talking through operations and putting together operation manuals and kind of like the intake forms that the current ownership works with, and just kind of how they do things. They haven't gone into more steps on that, but if we were to get approved today, they would spend the next 20-day appeal period in doing that more so. And then after closing, graciously Nancy and Rob, the current homeowners, have extended the offer to help them with additional supporting. So spending another couple of weeks just, you know, going through the day-to-day and, you know, what it looks like as they've been doing it, and then, you know, moving forward, so.
Fantastic. Excellent. Any members of the public? All right, you're the first one with your hand up. Come up to the microphone and loud and proud.
My name is Donna Ryan. This is my husband, Kevin Ryan. We live at 217 Bay Road. We are adjacent to the 213 Bay Road, currently known as the Puppy Shack, Inc. We are here tonight to formally oppose the transfer of a special permit for the dog kennel and daycare on the presence of 213 Bay Road. This is a 99% residential area, and a commercial boarding kennel daycare at this location diminishes the quality of life, quiet enjoyment of property, and property values of the neighborhood. The current owner has already caused noise issues. A new unknown owner creates more risk. We are deeply concerned about dogs barking all day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The current barking is a nuisance, and I am concerned the new owner will increase, not decrease, this problem. We came before this board when the Gildersleeves wanted to increase the amount of dogs to be kennelled and expressed our concern about the barking and being unable to enjoy our backyard due to the barking. There were also 3 other people that lived behind in the condos who came and also expressed the problem with the barking. We urge the board to deny this transfer and protect the integrity of our neighborhood. Thank you.
Can you just repeat your names?
Donna and Kevin Ryan. We've lived at this property for 48 years. We've worked in the town. I've worked in the town for over 30 years. My husband and I are now retired. We'd like to just enjoy our property. The Gildersleeves are moving on. We're not going anywhere. We've been here in the town of Easton for over 50 years. We just want to enjoy being able to go out into our yard. Everybody that drops their dogs off has no idea what it is to live next door to a kennel. Dogs bark, we know that. But how many dogs at a time bark? We've been having over a dozen dogs bark at the same time. It's not right. We don't deserve that. We've given a lot to the town. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, ma'am?
My name is Nancy Gildersleeve. I own the property at 213 Bay Road with my husband, Rob. I want to thank everybody that came here to support the Puppy Shack and Henrietta. When I first met her, I knew right away that she would be a great fit. She's a professional, and I think she'd be a great neighbor. I think all the owners of the puppies will love her. To some of you who came tonight who don't support the sale and have complaints, I just want to ask you, why haven't you ever called the police? Why haven't you ever reached out to me? Our phone number is on the sign out front. We're on Facebook, and you know where we live and do business. I've been in business for 10 years, and only one person has ever complained. I cannot address any of your issues if I don't hear from you. Why no complaints until tonight? Why wait until we're in the process of selling our business? If we're not able to sell the home and business, then we won't be able to retire, and we will be still running the Puppy Shack anyway. Kevin and Donna have been our immediate neighbors, and Kevin is the only person in 10 years of business to ever complain. All the changes made at the Puppy Shack were for him because he said the dogs barked at him in his backyard. I put up a fence. And the dogs barked during pickups and drop-offs. I addressed all those issues. On December 18th, when I was out in my yard with the dogs, I saw Kevin in his yard. So I started to bring the dogs in so he wasn't bothered. He yelled over the fence that I didn't have to and that the dogs were not bothering him. I brought him in anyway. 20 minutes later, my husband came home. Kevin walked over to our driveway, our front yard, and told my husband that he doesn't have a problem with the dogs barking, that he was happy with all the changes. They shook hands. My husband told him if he needs anything to let him know. I always thought a handshake between men meant something. But when Kevin found out we were selling the home and business, he told us he was going to fight it and get as many people to join him as possible. He said if it was up to him, he wouldn't fight it, but he said his wife hates your wife. Donna hates me. That's what Kevin said.
Whoa,
that's what he said to my wife. It's not hearsay, but
all
that's what he
addressed
said.
to me.
And I don't think hating me is a reason to stop me from selling my business. Hate me all you want, but it's just not fair. And then he proceeded to leave letters in doorways and mailboxes of my abutters, telling them to come here and fight. I don't mind addressing any concerns. I really don't. It's my responsibility of owning a business. But I don't feel like someone should be playing games with our livelihood, telling us he's okay with our business one day, but then starting a crusade against us the next. It's just not fair. We've done everything we could to please them, and we've done a great job. And I have a lot of people here today to contest to that. Thank you.
All right, do you have that video?
Use this to press join. Or share.
There we go. Let's see if the volume works.
We need
Well,
the
you got to direct the sound to the other device because it's turned all the way up.
I'm working with the backup machine here. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Pick the
device.
second option.
We'll give it another minute.
It is a URL, so I don't know if somebody else has already connected to that TV, but I can just
What is surface?
give that link.
If you pick for the surface, this choice.
I'm just gonna have a seat playing from here.
The veterinary field.
There you go.
It's coming from the surface. I'll flip it over and so I'm working from a secondary backup here, not my usual.
This mono audio. Combine left.
Hello, members of the town board. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself. Since I unfortunately cannot be there today, this is my way to leave you a little glimpse of who is applying for the kennel license at 213 Bay Road. My name is Henrietta. I've been in the veterinary field for over 10 years. I work as a vet tech full-time, and anyone who knows me can attest that my passion has always been animals. This is something that makes me happy, the joy they bring. I have a little backup right there. And I just jumped at the idea when I had this opportunity present itself. After meeting Nancy and Rob and seeing how they run the business, I really do believe that I can take over and have a smooth transition and just provide the best ultimate care possible. I don't plan on changing how the rules and regulations have been running, and I intend on providing the skills I've learned over the years, also as a social worker, keeping in mind the neighbors, people of the community, and I really want to be a member of the town of Easton in the most positive way I can be, keeping in mind my eco-conscious and eco-friendly habits I've developed over the years as well. And that is it. I hope with your consideration, you guys feel the same way and can see that this is a great opportunity for everyone involved. I also will attach some pictures so you can see what I do behind the scenes at work and just things that make me happy, which truly is animals. Thank you for your time.
Other members of the public? Hold on, give everyone a shot. You had your hand up first. Nope, right there. Black top. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Actually, this is perfect. So I'll piggyback off of those pictures. So
Address.
my name is Jenny Kravitz. I live at 61 Beaver Dam Road. So first and foremost, I've been a client of the Puppy Shack for 7 years now. And I call it a daycare, not a dog kennel, because it really is a daycare. When my dog goes there, I don't have to check in. I know he's good, he's safe, and I appreciate all the love and care that you guys give to every single one of them. But most importantly, this is somebody that I've known since freshman year of high school. When I met her, I gave her a nickname, Snow White. Why? Because all the animals flock to her. She is the animal whisperer. She has an amazing connection. She understands them better than any of us do. So I think as members of this, residents of this town, I think we would be honored to have someone like Henrietta take over the Puppy Shack and keep providing that amazing service and giving our dogs all the love that they deserve. So I really hope you consider her. Thank you.
I want to get through everybody before we come back. And I also don't want I don't want personal attacks or stuff like that. All right, so ma'am, you're up.
Hi there, I'm Anna Russo. My husband Alex Russo is in the hallway with our 4-month-old as well, who we live at 74 Rockland Street. And Nancy and Rob have been a lifesaver for us in regards to our dog Arlo. Their business is the only thing around here that is what it is. They take such amazing care of the dogs that are there. We have a dog that is incredibly anxious. We got him from a shelter, and pretty much any other daycare would not have taken him and lasted this 3-year relationship that we've had with Nancy and Rob. It's a second home for him. If I could send my 4-month-old there, I would. We really I feel like that this community really benefits from having that business here. I know I've talked to Nancy many times about how she was planning on selling the business, and they were looking for somebody who was the right fit rather than, just selling it to whoever. And I trust in the fact that I've trusted my dog in them. I trust them that they've made a really sound judgment with what sounds like an amazing person. So I just want to throw that out there.
Thank you. Ma'am in the back, in the red shirt, cranberry, fuchsia, maroon.
Cranberry.
Not sure.
Cranberry it is, bottom red. I'm short too, but I'm just gonna do this. My name is Mala Aronson. I live at 4 Waterbury Lane. I probably maybe one of the newer clients of Nancy and Rob. I had a dog that passed away, and we wanted to adopt a dog with some special needs. And so actually Nancy and Rob were very patient with us because she was not able to start due to her medical problems for about 3 months after we made an agreement. But I was looking for someplace that could handle a special needs dog like that. And I've been in Easton for 27 years, had another small dog, and she was ill as well, so she wasn't in daycare, and we decided that this one really needed to socialize. And I, at the time, was just walking her at the local parks. We go to Ames or the sheep pasture, whatever, and we dog people, we meet and we introduce ourselves and become friends. And when I was talking to people about daycares that I thought would meet our needs, people recommended the Puppy Shack unanimously. So about a year ago, I called Nancy and Rob and told them about her issues, and they were very open and very flexible. And the thing that I think is important to hear today is that when we met, I asked the typical questions, how flexible are you with times and drop-offs? I was really nervous, so they let me do half days for God knows how long until they finally assured me that she was fine. I'm like a special needs mom. And so one of the things they made really clear was that out of respect for their neighbors, there was a certain time frame that I could pick her up and a certain time frame that I could drop her off, because out of respect for neighbors, sometimes when a dog is leaving, one of the other ones will bark, and that they wanted to have the quiet. So I know that during the time that I pick her up, all the dogs are inside until all the dogs get there, and I don't hear them barking inside at all. And I think that, I know that's continued. And, I respect that, and it's a very rare. I think that it's a little bit difficult for me certain days to be less flexible if I want to pick her up on the way home and I'm 2 hours early, but I respect our community as well. I could walk to their house. I live around the corner, and my dog is very sensitive to noise and barking. And she would not be as happy as she is there, I think, if there was a lot of barking. Because when we have a big family with a lot of dogs, and when there's a lot of barking, we sometimes have to keep her in a separate room. So if there was a lot of barking at the daycare, she wouldn't be happy there, and she basically jumps out of the car at whoever is taking her that day, and drags me to Nancy or Rob. So I think, it says a lot about their respect for the community. And I am very grateful. I can't imagine leaving her anywhere else at this point. So I'm very grateful. And honestly, when my husband and I started talking about downsizing and where we wanted to live, I said, we need to stay in Easton because she needs to stay at the puppy shop. I'm serious. I know that sounds huge, but I am. So thank you.
Anybody else? Ma'am?
Good evening. My name is Mary Donovan. I live at 16 Daniel Drive. The condo complex, the backyard abuts the backyards of the people on Bay Road. From what I'm hearing, the people who use this doggy daycare are very happy. It's not a question of how good it is or the qualifications of the lady who wants to take over. It's a question of the location. This is not the location for a kennel. Okay, so let me get to my prepared speech. It appears that the new applicant for the transfer of the special permit intends to open a veterinary business also. She has veterinary experience.
No, so she's a veterinary tech, but
She's
it's not
leaving her
opening a
job as a
vet.
veterinary tech at the Newton Animal Hospital in order to take on this job as a new endeavor entirely.
Okay, so that would be a limitation. That would be an express limitation to her, right? That would be an expressed limitation to her. That would not be allowed.
No, she's not a
Oh, no.
veterinary
Yeah,
doctor.
she's not a
Okay.
vet, but please continue.
Okay. One of my questions is that Easton Board of Health has the Easton Board of Health evaluated the property. I understand for the rules according to the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources for their regulations. I understand from some of the documents I read online that the Board of Health is opposed to this. The Conservation Commission apparently has changed. There's been updated since I last saw it. They're approving. So I'm wondering if the Conservation Commission has done a property evaluation to determine if there's any impact to the wetlands in the area. And if they've done it, when would that have been? I was in contact with them after the last hearing, asking if they had done such a thing, and they told me that there was no order for them to do it, so they were not allowed. So that's a question I would have, the impact to the wetlands. One of the things I noticed in the application is that the new owner would want to increase the number of dogs to 10 a day instead of 8. And something that should be noted is everything hasn't been harmonious with the neighbors. The issue came up about complaints. We would never complain directly to a violator. I mean, that wouldn't be a smart thing to do. I have personally called the police department, and I get told to call the dog officer. So there are complaints that are made, and you just can't go by the fact that you haven't heard them. There are, let's see. The existing permit was granted, and a number of people, the customers and us from the condo association came and were heard. The original permit that was granted, the very first permit that allowed this to open, not all the abutters were notified. Through no fault of the board or their support team, we just weren't notified. And I think that some of these concerns would have been expressed at that time. When, by the time we were notified, it was a fait accompli, and we had to respond to the situation. Dogs bark not just when they're dropped off and picked up. There is a schedule, especially in the good weather, when they're allowed out several times during the day, all of them. You cannot have your windows open and enjoy your deck. It's just not possible. And I don't live next door. I don't know how they stand it. I don't live next door, but you just can't enjoy your property like you should be able to. I understand the people who own dogs and bring the dogs there are grateful for the kind of care their dogs get. They aren't putting up with what we're putting up with while their dogs are getting that great care. It's just, it's just not the place for a kennel. Let's see. I'm wondering, in one of the documents I read, the proposal, where each town board responds to whether or not they are in favor of it, you refer to the staff, and I'm wondering who the staff is. Is that a member of each board? I mean, who is the staff that makes recommendations and does finding of fact?
It's Mr. Kirkland's department. So.
And he is?
He's the planner, city
Okay.
planner, economic development, etc.
So members of his staff,
Well, him. He's.
Oh, him. He's the staff.
The staff.
Okay. Okay. Just one last question. I know that the Gildersleeves took the negative vote from the last meeting to the land court, appealed it at the land court, and it was dismissed. Do you know if that was with prejudice or without?
I don't know.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Ms. Gildersleeves in the room. You could ask her.
Well, if I could be honest, another time Kevin had told us that he didn't mind the noise anymore, so my lawyer called him and asked him.
We're not
No, my
doing the
lawyer called
personal
him and
stuff.
asked him if he would write a letter to that because we had appealed, and he would not. My lawyer advised me that I couldn't go any further with the case, so I dropped it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just would finish with the neighborhood. This is just not the place for the kennel. And I think this is an opportune time to let it go. Thank you.
Anybody else? I see you over there. I'll get you next.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Tower. I live at 84 Purchase Street here in Easton. I have been bringing my dog Maggie to Rob and Nancy for a little over 2 years now. In doing so, Nancy is very good at posting videos on Facebook. Everybody here is more than welcome to go and watch them. And at one given time, she lets the dogs out. I don't think there's ever been more than 4 or 5 dogs out at a given time. There is volume on these videos, and not, I watch them avidly because I'm a nervous dog mom. I don't hear any barking. I drop my dog off at 7 o'clock in the morning. There's no barking. I pick my dog up, or my mom will pick my dog up. There's never any dogs out in the yard. There's no barking from within inside the house. And again, the videos, watch them. There's no barking. You can hear Nancy talking to the dogs, giving them treats, but you don't hear a lot of commotion of dogs barking, or even if they're rambunctious, there's no noise. I will admit, I don't live next door, but I'm just voicing what I witness. And just one other point, she takes dogs under 25 pounds. It's a place where you can feel safe to bring your smaller dogs. You don't have to take them to these big kennels, if you will. This is not a kennel situation. It's done in her home. There's no cages. There's no kennels. There's no mess. I've been inside her house. I've been in her yard. She has a beautiful yard. Her grandchildren go there and swim in the pool while the dogs are there. They have given their life up to take care of our dogs, to make sure that their neighbors aren't bothered and they still can enjoy their yard. And that's all I really have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Stole my thunder. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right. Hi, I'm Patty Sagany. I live at 7 Quarry Lane. Been in Easton about 30 years. And I've been probably one of her first customers over about 10 years. I've had 3 dogs at that place. So it's a very special place. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's not like where any other town has. It's such a benefit for Easton to have this here. Yes, it is in somebody's house. Yes, dogs bark. Yes, small dogs bark. They have to be 25 pounds and under. They are so strict with their policies. When I first had Hannah, you know, it was like, come whenever you want. You can pick up your dog whenever. Now, 10 years later, I gotta text her when I'm coming. She's got to make sure that the dogs are in the house. There's all these rules, which there should be, all right? If she's got problems with the neighbors, everybody's very respectful. It's a small community. We're all just trying to get along. It's a great business. I really think the town, it would be an error to get rid of this great little business that's here. It's not a kennel. It's in our home. These dogs are hanging out in the bottom part of their house that they've created just for our dogs. So I think that, you know, I feel bad for their neighbors, but it's been there for 10 years. Why now? Why now all the problems? When 10 years ago, the dogs were coming and going all day long. Now you can't do that. You can't go for half a day. You can't just pick up your dog at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You can't drop your dog off at 7 in the morning. There's strict hours. So I think that's something that, you know, should be looked at. Thank you for your time.
So you want to have the opportunity? Yeah, okay. Any other comments from the public? Okay. All right, we'll start with the members of the board. Mr. Curran.
So I guess I should direct any questions that I'd have for the
Henrietta.
prospective owner, Henrietta, to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was listed on the original application as the
All
authorized
right.
representative.
And is she prepared, I think I saw this in the narrative, but she's proposing to increase the capacity of the dogs from 8 per day to 10, but she's willing to.
Yes, yeah, the only reason we asked for 10 was just strictly because she does have the, you know, educational, institutional training of a bachelor's in science, so she just felt that, you know, she had a little more of like background in handling dogs and that sort of thing, but she's 100% okay with, you know, if you guys want to keep it at the 8. That was the only thing.
And is she aware of the other conditions that go into operating this kennel at the present time?
Absolutely.
Was she proposing to change any of those
No,
conditions?
no changes. We actually did, and I have here is the daily operations of the hours I can distribute to the board members if they like to see it. I don't think like we went into that much detail on the narrative, but I did bring it here today just to kind of show an example of these drop-off hours and pickup hours that folks have been talking about.
Is there a way for you to just kind of summarize it?
Yeah,
perhaps
absolutely.
In 25 words or less.
I'll try. So the drop-off procedures, they begin at 7 a.m. and they go to 9 a.m. And as some of the supporters have mentioned, essentially it's in intervals of 15 to 20 minutes. You text. I'm a client of Nancy's, so I know you would text her. On Monday, you text her the days you're going to be there, and then the morning of, you coordinate what time you're going to pick up and drop off. And then I just give her always a courtesy 5 minutes because I'm going to be late to my own funeral. And sometimes the time I tell her, she'll say that I'm definitely the worst client because I'm a real estate agent. I'm always running around. So, but yeah, so that's the procedures for essentially the drop off and the pickups. And then it just talks about just how she only brings out, a couple of dogs at a time. they'll play for 30 minutes and then she'll swap out, bring those dogs inside so that all the dogs get an equal amount, an opportunity of being outdoors and then indoors. And that's kind of how she cycles it throughout the day. So not all 8 dogs are ever out there at one time.
Okay. And when I was looking at the staff report, one of the recommended conditions of approval discussed, and this goes to the noise issue, that I'll just read this. It is specifically noted that 5 minutes or longer of barking and/or noise that is 10 dBA above, that's decibels.
Decibels, yeah.
Above background ambient can be considered a public nuisance.
Yep, and she acknowledged we read it all together when we first saw that get posted, and we're in total understanding. I mean, respectfully, it is also Bay Road, so I don't know what decibels read at, but I would say that a truck blaring by and cars driving by are probably not all that far off from that, so.
Well, I think that if I kind of looked this up on Google, I think that's the
I bought a
level
decibel meter just in case, but
No,
we
I
never
think-
got
I think-
into like actually recording
I
anything.
think that's a decibel level of breathing. So,
I mean, I guess to Nancy's point is, you know, if the residents or the neighbors do have any kind of complaints, you know, either file it formally or come and speak to the homeowner if you're not comfortable in doing it in person, you know, an email or a phone call to say, hey, you know, this is what's up, but it just seems as though that hasn't happened historically, and it has only been presented in challenge of, you know, them applying for a special variance to the existing permit and or us being here today. And just to make clear, I mean, if you were to vote no today, Nancy and Rob have no intention in leaving Easton. This is their means of income, and if they're unable to sell their property, they will not get the proceeds of the sale and they won't be able to retire. So the puppy shack will continue to operate. We're just looking to give them an opportunity to retire and give somebody that is so interested in this opportunity a chance to do so and become a member of Easton.
okay. And if we approve it, is the applicant going to be moving into the house? Is she going to be
Correct.
living there?
Yes, it'll be her primary residence.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. I apologize if I'm do we have a copy, through you, Mr. Chairman, a copy of the existing special permit for this property in the file?
It wasn't in this packet.
Because, so, maybe you're speaking for both sides, right?
Yeah.
Were there any conditions, for example, a condition on non-transferability on the last permit?
There's no special permits transfer with deeds.
Right.
So it's just.
Right, so we're not looking to transfer.
No.
Well, she's applying for a new one. I think
Yeah,
we're
okay,
just
that's
using
just to
the
make
word
that clear.
transfer to say like nothing's changing. We're not applying for anything different. We're not trying to, besides the extra 2 dogs, which we're fine with, you know, if you guys are in opposition of it, but given her experience with the animals,
Okay,
we
no,
felt that.
I get it. I was reading the statement in the recommendations that the special permit shall not be transferable. and
Correct.
I thought, well, I don't see the old one. Were
Right.
there conditions of the existing special permit that differ in any way from what is proposed?
Nothing, except for the additional 2 dogs. No. It's just, right now they have 8 for daytime and 4 overnights? 3 overnights is what's currently.
Okay. I believe that, so do the overnights then include, so you've got 12 dogs, so if somebody can drop off, there can be 12 dogs there at any given time, only 3
No,
spend the
that,
night?
no.
Okay, of the 8, only 3
Of the
can
8,
spend-
if you
okay,
have
so
the overnights, they are taken into consideration.
So just to clarify for the neighbors who did talk about more than 12 dogs barking, we don't seem to get to those numbers if
Correct.
there aren't 12 dogs.
Correct.
If there aren't 12 dogs there. That doesn't mean that for certain types of dogs couldn't be a nuisance. Okay. All right. And do we know why the health department voted that they were opposed? Because I haven't been able to find that in Permitize or, oh, I beg your pardon, yes, sir.
Yeah, so through the chair,
Through the chair.
The conditions listed, condition 8, so the special permit regarding the reference to the noise, that was a copy paste of what their concern was. So originally, I
Oh,
believe
I see.
their comment was not applicable, and then they went back and wanted to put in the comment on noise, which is a standard performance standard that's listed that everybody follows through. And discussing on the conditions, they're just the same ones that were in the previously granted special permit.
Okay, thank you. And my last question, I guess, is that are there any, in the special permit itself, is there any restriction on the number of dogs allowed outside at any given time?
I
mean,
don't
there's
believe
talk about
there's
that.
anything existing, no.
Thank you, nothing further.
Mrs. Smith.
She asked all the questions I was going to ask, so.
Yep. That's why she's on.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. K.
I heard somebody say that there was a request for a fence and a fence was put up at some point, and I'm wondering if Ms. Abramovich has any suggestions or proposals or thoughts about anything more she can do to mitigate the noise concerns of the neighbors.
I mean, so currently there's a double gate chain link fence that surrounds the entire area where the dogs are. And what the Gildersleeves installed was an additional wood fence that is just a foot over from the chain link fence that's higher up. I think it's a 6-foot wooden fence.
So the dogs can't see into the
So like this way you can't actually see into any of the abutters' yards. And really, I mean, there's only the one abutter because in the back there's probably at least 100 feet of wetlands before you're even near the condo community. Yeah, that was being just.
When was that put up?
The fence? That was put up in like 2019 or 20.
Okay. So is there anything else that can be done?
I mean, I think the small groups, that was another addition to their rules and kind of their processes of what they had been doing, where, you know, at one point perhaps there were 8 dogs to where they, you know, amended and started doing these smaller groups going out. I mean, I don't know much about noise mitigation, but I would think, you know, a chain link fence, a wood fence, unless you start, I mean, I don't know how much trees would do. I mean, it's Bay Road, so it's kind of noisy as it is. So.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned about the neighbors. I thought I remember we had one of these once where somebody proposed.
Yeah, it's on 138, but they were like this special acoustic tiles, and they had an outside fenced area that had some special stuff. But that's a lot more dogs.
Okay.
And it was it Shannon Drive and stuff. The condos back there. I had complained about being able to hear. So.
I mean, I live on Hobart Way, which is right behind the Quessett House, and I can tell you, when my 2 dogs go out there, and one of them barks, like all of the neighborhood dogs are barking. So, I mean, it's, you know, relative, I would say, in regards to, you know, you can only do so much. I think being able to not see into each other's yards is kind of an important aspect. And then the smaller groups, which again, she's going to literally be handed a manual of how to operate the puppy shack and is going to work with Nancy and Rob to ensure that she instills everything that they've been doing in order to make sure nothing changes with her ownership.
Thank you.
All my questions have already been answered. Anything further from the board?
Nope.
Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
First and second by Ms. Rummel. Any discussion? All those in favor? Of closing the public hearing?
Yes.
Yes. That's 5-0. Okay, I'm going to deliberate. Who would like to start? Don't all answer one.
I'll just say I am sympathetic to the Ryans and the neighbors' issue with the noise. I know. I mean, I have a dog. He barks, and I feel badly when my one dog barks and disturbs the neighbors. But the thing's already there, and if we don't, it seems like it's going to continue to be there otherwise. And I haven't heard anything but positive things about the potential purchaser and her ability to do this. And it just seems like, if anything, it would be an improvement for the Ryans and Miss Donovan. So those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay.
No, it's whoever.
I think would this be the time to consider the condition to the number?
Typically, we want to step to the special permit, but
Okay.
if there are any thoughts or anything like that?
I agree with the comments. It's already a zoned business and it had a special permit. I have a concern about the increase in the number of dogs. I would think I would look to consider a condition of keeping it to the existing number of dogs on the current special permit, and then consider that through our special condition, our condition to the special permit.
Do we want to, if you're going to do that, do you add a condition about maximum number of dogs out simultaneously?
Yes.
What would you?
I mean, I don't know. I guess the out at the same time. Is that part of the current permit? Is that part of the current?
It's not.
No. I think for me, I would limit the number of dogs, but not. I'm not qualified to put the maximum number of dogs outside.
Sure, that's fine.
To do that.
I was just asking the question.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Although if you had, I don't want to get a turn, but if you have 8 dogs and you limited it to 4 outside at once, it seems like a good number, and you could alternate who's out and who's not. I don't know. It's just my
I was just going to say, I think if I heard what was being discussed or presented earlier, right now the current owner is limiting it to 2 dogs outside at any given point in time. So I don't know whether that was a condition of the original special permit or not, but at least sort of de facto, they're, in an effort to keep the noise level down, they're limiting the number of dogs that are outside at any one time.
I understand that, but if we were to vote to approve, or would we set a condition for the special permit to restrict the number of dogs outside simultaneously?
Yeah, well, I think it's something worth considering because you had brought up, the criteria for issuing a special permit, the 6 of them. And really, I'll read them. Social, economic, or community needs which is served by the proposal. I think it's pretty apparent that there's a need for it and a lot of community needs are being met. Traffic flow and safety, that's, I think, it hasn't been discussed, but especially since there are all these staggered drop-off times and pickup times, it shouldn't be, there probably is a minimal impact in terms of traffic flow, especially since it is Bay Road and there are cars racing up and down.
Of 8 dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Adequacy of utilities or other public services, it doesn't seem to be really something we need to consider, but it doesn't seem to fall on one side or the other of it. Really, the thing that I guess we have to focus on is neighborhood character and social structures. And in the end, I think that the 2 families or individuals who were speaking against this basically have their take on it is that this is a residential area, and our residential area is being impacted negatively for us by the fact that this kennel is here. Except it is zoned. It's a business zone district. It's not. I think we'd be having a different discussion if this was a residential
We wouldn't be
area.
having a discussion at all.
Actually,
It's not allowed.
no, you're right. Actually, that's true. So, and it seems like there have been steps taken over time, and I think some of the other board members have alluded to this, to try to minimize the impact on the neighbors. And I don't want to get silly about this, but there's nothing to prevent anybody in that neighborhood from owning 4 dogs at once, sticking them in the backyard and having them raise a ruckus all day.
Right, because you can, it's 5 dogs under, right? If it's over 5, it's a kennel, you need a license.
Right. So, and I think that there seems to be a commitment on the part of the current owner and the prospective new owner to try to minimize the noise impact for the surrounding neighborhood. There were also, and I know one of, I don't remember your name, ma'am, but she lives in that condo complex behind, and was raising her concerns. I think there were, if I again remember correctly, there were 2 letters of support by other individuals who live in that same complex that feel like the current owner is a good neighbor and works hard to try to minimize the noise, and they don't seem to have a problem with it. So, impacts on natural environment, potential fiscal impact. Again, I don't think that those really cut one way or the other. So, I suppose given some of the conditions that we're talking about setting on this, we are trying to be mindful of the neighborhood character, the fact that there are some residences around, but trying to minimize the amount of noise. I mean, if we're going to set the condition that was recommended about the noise level not being above ambient breathing, it will be difficult if these are constantly noisy dogs to satisfy that condition. And I think I would suggest...
At that point, it'd be an enforcement action.
Exactly.
Right. Right, which might drive that out of business. I don't know, but I mean, I think that there's an effort being made to keep the noise level down.
Ms. Romo?
Thank you. I think I would agree with the recommendation so far to not, I didn't split my infinitive, I did. Not to increase the number of dogs, to keep it at 8 and 3. I'm not sure that the fences that have been mentioned, based on our experience with other efforts at mitigating noise, there's no indication that's effective. It's just that there's a fence. I think it might help that the dogs, I know that some dogs, if they can't see what's on the other side, will make more noise. I do think that the issue is noise. I haven't heard anything negative about traffic or unruly customers, clients of the business. So it just seems to me that if there's a way to address the noise, that's what we do. I think limiting the total number of dogs is one. One other thought I had, I think that we haven't, they're open till 6 o'clock. Is that 6 o'clock? Is that what they said?
Correct, yeah.
So, but I guess that's 6 o'clock year round. So sometimes it's going to be light out, sometimes it's going to be dark out. I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
The public hearing's closed.
Oh, I was just gonna let her know that even though we're open till 6, all dogs come in at 3:45.
So I guess it's a matter of limiting it. I think it's a benefit that the new owner or her representative, their representative who's here tonight, hear the real concerns of the neighbors about that noise, because it's very real to them. I think it could be, just a couple of terriers can drive you crazy. So I think it's important that it's heard, but based on the fact that it's zoned as it is and there's an existing business, I would have other restrictions.
Okay. All right, so what it sounds like is, if it were to be approved, it would be maintaining it, 8 dogs during the day, 3 overnight, and it was also tossed out, the exercise in accordance with the provisions of ECB section 235-30 subsection B with respect to the 10 decibels above background ambient and potentially no more than 4 dogs at a time outside. That's pretty much where I loaded my notes, is basically what everybody's mentioned. That sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What are we talking about?
Okay.
Yes.
So does somebody want to make a proposal here?
We'll propose that we allow the permit subject to those conditions.
Okay. Do you have those notes, Suzanne, those conditions?
Yes.
Okay. So 8 dogs during the day, 3 dogs overnight, no more than 4 dogs out at a time, and the restriction of the 10 decibels above background. Also in here, continue to utilize on-site waste, which that's Board of Health. The 4-foot fence is already there. Okay, so that is the proposal in front of us. Do I have a motion?
Do you have to?
I guess I'll speak after you vote on it. I would object to a couple of those terms, so do that after you vote.
I mean, for me, I haven't, there's no proposal made, I was summarizing
Oh,
the
summarizing,
discussion,
yeah,
so
no, I
you're
agree,
still
I
free
agree.
to-
Oh, I just, my feeling is that at least through Mr. Kirkland, the Board of Health was saying, was simply that 10 dBA ambient is it's already in the rules and regs.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, I think that if we impose that as a condition, it shifts the burden on the owner to go around with a decibel meter kind of measuring, is it over 10? It doesn't say that. It just says that it could, over 10, it could be considered, what's the term?
Nuisance.
Public nuisance. Yeah. So when it's then it's there, then it's, as we were talking about earlier, a potential enforceable action. But I think it just makes the operation entirely different. So I would object to that. The other thing too about the 4 dogs outside, we've already said that you can have 5 on your own without a kennel license. So and nobody's kept to 5. I just think that three Lakeland Terriers can make more noise than 3 Newfoundlands. You know, I don't know how you pick and choose which dogs we have. So 4 is an interesting number, maybe a little bit arbitrary, but I wouldn't necessarily object to it. It just seems like as though it's coming out of a funny spot. That's all. Thank you.
Just to comment, Gene, on what you just said, I guess your point on the noise levels, that could be well taken. As far as the number of dogs, I mean, we're trying to do a balancing act here because there have been concerns expressed by the neighbors. So just because, somebody could move into the house to the right of theirs and come in with 5, I don't know, Newfoundlands or something that bark all day. I mean, I think what I'm trying to say is that we're trying to be mindful of everybody's concerns.
Okay.
So while, if you could have 5 dogs as a matter of right, that's fine. But we're talking about a situation where they are going to operate a kennel, and there is a residence that's next door. So, why not set a condition that limits it to 2, 3, 4, whatever? I mean, I don't know anything about dogs. To me, a small dog, if they bark, they're not as loud as a big dog. I don't know.
So I got to make a correction. So Jeremy had made the proposal. So if we wanted to change it, then we would take those changes. We would vote on that. And we have to come back and vote
I agree.
on.
That's what I thought. Yes.
Yeah.
So I had intended, maybe I didn't phrase it well, but I had intended that the owner would have to abide by all of those conditions at the same time. No more than 4 dogs, no more than 10 decibels, no more than 8 dogs in the building at once. That they have to, and my intention was that, if you have 3 dogs out and they're over 10 decibels, then they're in violation. That was, whether it's 3 dogs out or 2 dogs out or 1 dog out, if it's over 10 decibels, my intention was that it would be in violation.
I agree with because you put a number, but there's also that other check point is the decibels.
Yeah, I had intended for them to they had to comply with all.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So did you want? So I guess it sounds like there's an amendment to the original proposal.
I mean, maybe I didn't say it well the first time. I had the same thing in my head when I said it, not apparently very artfully. But so I would move to allow the permit with a limit of 8 dogs, with no more than 4 being outside at any given time, with no more than 10 decibels at any given time. Compliance with the waste digester system. All of those things. That was my intention, and is my intention.
And free overnight too, don't forget about that.
Oh, no more than 3 overnights. And I'll add, I mean, I'll add another thing. I don't know if the new owner of the kennel has 5 dogs of her own or anything. Those would be counted towards the total.
Yes, total dogs on site.
Total dogs on site.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Now, based on what Gene's saying, Gene, do you want to make an amended proposal? Just striking out the sound portion?
That's the only difference I would make. I would agree to everything else. It's just, and it isn't that I think that they can be more than 10. It's just, it's the burden shift, if you understand what I'm saying. It's, 10 decibels seems like nothing.
Yeah, we're getting into the legal stuff that I don't understand.
but we have to make sure that we condition this properly. That's why I think the point she's making is well taken. I mean, we don't want to. I guess we have to think about whose burden it would be to show that.
It's a good point, because if the burden is on the property owner, they're going to have a decibel meter outside with an alert inside the house, and you got to run outside and grab everybody, right, or grab all the dogs. Where I don't think that is the intent of the law. That if someone feels things are loud, they can file a public complaint, and the individual. I don't know how it would work. Typically, the individual will have to pay for that if it was a public complaint. But at that point, it doesn't become a need to install sound metering devices to constantly check it. That's, I think, what Ms. Rumble's point is. Okay, so we have a counter proposal. So right now, the proposal is basically the same thing, extracting out the sound portion.
All right, fine. I'll second Ms. Rummel's proposal.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor? We'll do a hand vote. All right. All those in favor? That would be 5. Now we got to come back to Mr. Kays. There was no second. There was only a first. Oh, there was no second. I didn't hear that. Okay. There was no second on his, so there really wasn't.
Go with this one.
Okay. So at that point, that's 5-0. So permit approved. Okay. All right, 62 Central Street. The petitioners for 62 Central Street.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone for coming.
Good luck.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
It is what it is.
Good luck to you both.
Help the people. Yeah, it's tough when they rezone stuff. So this is not business zone when they bought their home. And so when the town does a master plan and rezones things, it changes their ownership of their home. That's why, like, the town meetings and their planning zoning.
Take care.
It's important that you go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most folks don't.
You don't think there's any relation, any
Right,
relative?
and it's unfortunate because they didn't buy this home over 40 years ago, thinking that they were buying this.
Yeah.
But that new stamp lighting, that building was still there next door.
Yeah.
But they also got another house, 2 houses in between there. It's tough.
Yeah.
I feel for them, but the other folks also have property rights as well.
Yeah.
They seem comfortable with the outcome.
Yeah.
And like I said, we try and address it best we can. Right.
Yeah. It sticks with the new
We'll let
owner.
everybody clear out so it's
Goes
not so
forever.
loud.
Dog license and special permit.
No, it's a.
This is a special permit.
Yeah, it's a special permit with limited.
We had 6.
think this might be a record for my tenure here. The most permit or most applications in one night.
It's
This is a marathon. This is a marathon night.
I've been here to.
Yeah, we've had some late ones. Taco Bells.
Yeah.
But 40B ones, those are.
All right.
Would you do me a
Hold on a second.
do me a favor? On the
I'm gonna
first
clear
hearing,
them out.
you were reading the proposal for
The
of
tower.
The tower?
Tower.
Or no, the that was the Foundry
The Foundry
Street.
Street.
Clear
That was the
outside,
tower.
Because we still have a hearing and it
Did I misread
carries
it?
right in here.
No, you just said
Thank you.
Board of, you said planning board approved. One of these was approved and I had it as,
No,
maybe
I
it's
ate a
building
big lunch.
department, you said recommended or something, and I had another, I had a 0. Okay, I'll double check. I thought maybe you're reading something different than I
She has them all lined up for me.
did. Okay.
Miriam, do you wanna sit on this one?
But that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, let her get her Miriam to get her name in the record.
Okay, the applicants for 62 Central Street here. All right, fantastic. Mr. Katie, you want to read this into the record, please?
Will do. The Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 17, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Easton Town Hall, Colleen Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. On the petition of Luciano DePina, petitioner, and Anthony Schwery, I hope I said that right, for property located at 62 Central Street, Easton, Mass. Assessors map 36U, lot 36, for an after-the-fact variance pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 10, in Easton Code Book, Section 235-54, capital B, subsection 3, and Section 235-18, capital D, subsection 3, for an accessory ground-mounted solar energy system to remain 5 feet 8 inches in the side yard setback where 20 feet would otherwise be required. Turning to the comments, Affordable Housing Trust indicates not applicable. Board of Health recommends. Building Department not recommended. DPW no comment. Environmental Planner not applicable. Fire Department no comment. Historical Commission not applicable. Planning and Zoning Board recommended. Police Department complete. Water Division no comment listed.
Okay. Sitting on this hearing will be Mr. Curran, Mr. Kay, myself, Mr. Hamburger, and Ms. Gailey. All right, whenever you're ready, sir.
Hi, I'm Robert Barbosa. I'm here on behalf of the solar company, Grid Solar, and also the homeowner, Anthony. So looking to get a variance for a ground mount that he installed on his property. Near the property line, so I guess it was the best place he can actually put it on his property. So that way when they pull into the driveway, he has space, and it's not in the space of his driveway. But we couldn't put it further out because there's a septic tank that's there. So ideally, that was the only place we could really put it. I'm not sure if you guys have a copy of the plans. You do?
We do. Yeah, it's probably good.
Okay, it's on now. You're welcome.
Yeah. You want to start at the top again?
Yeah, so Robert
You did so well the first time.
Robert Barbosa. I'm here on behalf of Grid Solar. I'm actually the salesperson that's working with Anthony. So I'm not in the operations department. But they installed the ground mount, and the only place we can really put it, because the ground mount typically you want is south. South is the best place you can really put it. In his situation, we have it southeast. And we couldn't get it to the 20 feet coming away from the fence because there's a septic tank there. So ideally with the customer, this ideally where he wanted it to go.
Any questions from members of the public? Okay. Ms. Gailey, you want to go first?
Just I'm wondering. Usually there is a house here, right?
There is the
The
house.
roof.
The house is like more south, like south in the middle.
And usually they are installing this above the roof, right?
Usually, yeah. So that's rooftop solar. So if you have the land, you're able to get a ground mount. So same thing. It's gonna do the exact same thing for the house. It's just not gonna be on the house. It's just be on the ground.
Oh, okay. Why is this not installed on the roof?
Because the energy that he uses so much energy, he doesn't have enough space on his roof to cover the demand of energy that's required. So, but he does have the land. So that's why he wanted to go with a ground mount to cover. Because each panel has a certain amount of kilowatts it produces. So he needs a good amount to cover that demand of energy he's using from National Grid.
Okay, and from the technical standpoint, it's better for you to put it all together at the same point, not to divide it some on the top of the roof. And
Aesthetically, that's the cleanest looking design is to have it all together.
And there is a requirement between the dimension between the septic tank and the solar, right?
Yes, correct.
What is the minimum requirement for this one?
On the septic, that's more operations. I wish I could answer that. I'm not sure, but I know it's supposed to be 20 feet. It's supposed to be 20 feet away from that line back there. But the septic tank is sitting probably like right in the middle of that.
Yeah, so typically you can't do anything within 15 foot of a septic tank
Okay.
without permission from the Board of Health.
Well, that's why I'm asking. What is the dimension? Okay, thank you.
I wish I had a better answer.
Yeah, Mr. Hamburger?
The only question, I'm assuming that a permit was applied for and granted because this has been up for
a while. It's
for
been
2 or 3 or 4 years.
Oh no! It's probably been about 8 months, 7 months.
Longer than that.
Yeah, 8-7 months. Yeah.
And this issue, how did this issue come up?
More operations. I guess when they installed, so SoGrid Solar, they're on the newer side. They've been in business for 4 or 5 years. They haven't installed a ground mount here in Easton yet. This was the first one. So they learned the hard way of the code of what needs to be installed where it should be installed. So it looks like, unfortunately, on the operations side, they didn't understand that aspect of it. And also talking to the homeowner and getting his concerns, they kind of granted him without going through the proper channels and seeing if we can actually do it, unfortunately.
And the building inspector or whoever never did a final inspection?
I guess they didn't sign off on it because of the 20 feet rule.
And just out of curiosity, is this a more efficient way to?
Yes, so it takes out the liability, put it on your roof, so the roof concerns with roof leaks and things like that.
And in case of a fire, they
have
access.
Correct, and it has an AC DC disconnect switch too, so to shut off the system as well.
Just one more question.
Sure.
What is the height of this solar panel from the ground?
So it's at an angle, so it kind of goes like this. I would probably say it's probably like right here.
Like
6, maybe
because
6.
There is a neighbor on the other side, so
It's at the line. There's trees there, so you can't really see it from the neighbor's side. And I believe he talked to all of his neighbors as well, and all of his neighbors was okay with it. And I believe there was like letters sent out too as well, and nobody opposed. So his neighbors was fine with the system.
There's a difference between not opposing and not showing up.
Even there is no specific height. He's just pointing with his hand.
Yeah, I don't know specific height because I'm from the sales side, so I wish I had that for you. It might be in here.
Even there is no drawing here just to show the height of this one.
Yeah. Miriam, there's a photo up there. I don't know if you looked and saw that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the height.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you have any more questions?
Where is SoulGrid based?
Canton.
Do they? I mean, you haven't come upon this issue before in other towns, or
No, other towns have certain requirements, certain feet. They all have different requirements for installing ground mounts. So this is the first time in Easton. Definitely won't happen again.
I mean, you're gonna check them all in all the towns before you do it, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Like I'm on the sales side. Yeah, yeah, I'm on the sales side, so I definitely agree with you guys on that one.
What would moving it entail?
What was that?
What would moving it? You can't move it.
I mean, we can move it, but it's not much where else we can put it because of the direction it has to face south, and with the trees in his property. So ideally, that was the best area. And then if it went out a little bit more down, his entrance to his driveway is right there, so it would be blocking the driveway as well.
All right. Thank you.
I got to ask a question. Normally I go last, but it's burning a hole in me. When this application was, so I got to ask, when this was, the customer reached out, said, I'd like to do solar.
Mm-hmm.
Sales staff came over. Don't know if it was you.
It was me.
specifically or
It was me.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Said, yeah, absolutely, we can do that. We calculate your power needs based on your power needs. I see your bills. This is the size of the array you'll need.
Yep.
At that point, what happens? Is there
So when
a
it
surveyor comes out?
Yes. So when it leaves me, a site survey comes out and they do a site audit.
Yeah.
All right. So they scale the land, they look at the electrical.
Right, but is it a licensed surveyor who does it?
Yes, that comes out and does it. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So they come out and do the job, and then they go back and they submit all the pictures, all the measurements. So they send everything to operations.
Yeah.
Operations then reviews everything. See, and then also they have to pull permits.
So there were plans that said the array should go here, and they just said, nah.
I hope that's not the case. I know this is a second design. I know the design changed, I think 2 or 3 times. So I think this was the final one, and this is the one that they installed.
So there wasn't a point where they, because on that land surveyor's plan, it will have dashes saying the setbacks. And when they decided they were going to move it, do you want to get that?
I'll grab it.
In case you forget your name.
Good job.
Yeah. Well, I saved you a little while ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this was gonna fall. Yeah, you did. It was a little too far away from me.
So they had a plan. They knew the no-build area, and I'm going to assume on that drawing that it also denoted where the septic tank was and the setbacks of the septic tank. So it was a known fact before install occurred.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then it still went there. And did the property owner have input on that? Because we said a couple times it was going to block his driveway.
Yeah, I was gonna block his driveway. That's where he wanted it. So that's I don't know if he influenced.
The ops crew on site said, "This is what the homeowner wants. Whatever the homeowner wants."
I can't answer that question. I hope not. But what it sounds like, that's what they kind of listened to the homeowner and was like, all right, let's appease the homeowner to see if we can get.
So we had a plan saying where they could put it and follow the zoning bylaws. And at some point, somebody, we're not pointing fingers, said, "Nah, I like it over here better, and it's going to block, or it's also going to block the driveway," in order to get that done. So at some point, the owner had to sign off on that or give the approval to put it there.
Well, he said yes. That's where I want it. So I would have to say yes to that.
Okay, that's it for me, Mr. Skinner.
I was setting up, or do I still?
No, you're sitting on this one.
Oh no.
You were listed.
No.
Oh, no, you are out on this.
I was out on
Right.
Marion.
Hamburgers.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to talk, I'll talk, but.
Mr. Curran, you're up.
Thank you. And probably some of the questions I had were the same ones that were burning a hole in you. So, I don't want to repeat, but obviously there was a permit taken out that they contemplated that this array was going to be 20 feet from the property line to comply with the building permit. And I'm not getting a clear idea from you in terms of who made the decision to put it somewhere else. Well, the homeowner didn't want it in the driveway, and the install people were redesigning things, and they moved it around. My fundamental problem with this is that I feel like this is an after-the-fact request to honor bad behavior. And yeah, we can't know in an alternative situation what this board would have done if an application had been submitted asking to have the array situated where it was eventually installed. There's probably a pretty good chance that it would have been granted. And now we're being asked to reward bad behavior. I guess I'm just going to say that. And I have, for myself, I have a real problem with that. One other question, in terms of the costs of installation, who's been bearing that? The homeowner? Your
No, so
company?
the homeowner did a program called a PPA, which is a power purchase agreement. So the solar company purchases the panels for the client. They warranty everything for 25 years, labor, equipment. So there's no upfront cost for Anthony. All it is, he's literally, instead of paying National Grid, he has all of his energy now covered from the solar ground mount. So what it did.
Don't worry, John, we pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
technically he's right, yeah.
No, but if there's excess, it gets sold back. I went through this
Yeah.
on my own a while ago. But I guess just in terms of what we're going to do, this is a situation where the financial burden of this is going to fall on the solar company. Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Did you have another question?
Yeah. Is it feasible to move it?
Yes, we definitely can move it. The production and things will change, but it definitely can be moved.
Okay, and then where? Maybe that's
That
what
would
you're gonna.
So they would go back and do everything by code and put in a location that we can set it, and then we would also have to make sure that he's getting the optimum sun to get the production that he needs to cover that energy. So we would have to go back and kind of just rework the numbers.
Looking at that picture, let's just say, and I don't know, pictures are two-dimensional, but let's just say you moved it back where that swing set is. Is the homeowner going to turn around and say, well, you know what, I didn't want my driveway blocked, and I don't want my kids' swings interfered with?
Yeah,
I mean,
from my conversation when I was first there with the homeowner, he didn't want it there because it's right in the middle of his of his lawn, and he does have kids and stuff, and they play there. So I understood where he was coming from. But yeah, we can move it if we can find a location. We could definitely move it.
but he would have to approve.
He would have to approve for it. Yeah, we wouldn't even if it has to be removed totally. We would have to do it as well.
Okay. All right. I'm all set.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And deliberate. Obviously, this is variance. We can step through the elements of the variance if we'd like, unless somebody would like to make a motion. I generally try and avoid making the motions as the chair.
I'll make the motion that we approve it.
We have a motion to approve. We have no second. Okay. You want to deliberate and go through it and step through the items of the variance?
I mean, maybe if
Here's the way I look at this, and I'll summarize it. There was a plan that I'm sure met the variance guide, or excuse me, not variance, met the guidelines for following our zoning bylaws. And somebody, we're not pointing fingers, but somebody said too bad, I want it over there. And someone signed off on it. And now they're back here, as you said. Yeah, I know we screwed up. So, yeah, just let it pass anyway. And as you said, it encourages poor behavior, which I do not like doing. I did talk to the building inspector in advance to understand how this would go. If obviously you approve a variance, then they just continue along as they are. If it's denied, they now have to go back to the building inspector, and the building inspector enforces whatever the building inspector chooses. So the building inspector could say, take it down. The building inspector could say it's fine where it is. They could find something else. Find where it is, remember that the building inspector is the enforcement officer. So if this falls back in the court of the property owner now has to deal with the building inspector, and what the building inspector says is final. So that's what we're really deciding here.
Okay. No, I appreciate that clarification. I wasn't aware
Yeah,
of that.
because I wanted to make sure, because I wanted to understand that if it came down that it was a no vote, the no vote didn't necessarily mean tear it down. It means now he has to go back to the building inspector, and the building inspector has the final call on that.
Okay, well. Yeah.
Do we have any idea what the building inspector thinks should be done?
Well, we're here right now.
So
The building inspector wants us to make the decision so that it doesn't, bounce back to him.
Well, in the end, it's the building inspector's job, right? Notices non-compliance.
Right.
Says you need to go in front of basically the compliance board to get approval for it. But at this point, what it would, if we were to vote to deny the variance, the homeowner now has to deal with the building inspector, and the building inspector could say, listen, it's non-compliant, tear it down. Move it, make it compliant, which is probably what will happen. But
Yeah.
sending it to us was like, hey, if you guys say it's fine, I'm all set, fine. You guys said it's fine, it's going to stay there. But
Well, and I know we've said in other meetings, in other contexts, that what we do doesn't have any precedential value. So that kind of cuts against, I suppose, my take on this. But still, when I read the papers and I read the app, I just thought that there was some blatant disregard for what the permit required because it was convenient to somebody. I don't know, based on the presentation we've been given, that we know who it was convenient to, because
it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it was the homeowner who did it or it was the installers who did it. It's
Right.
In the end, the homeowner is ultimately responsible. The installers aren't responsible. If the homeowner says, no, I want it here, is
Right.
it the installer's job to go back and say, well, you're not going to be compliant? That's not their job. Their
Right.
job is to install. I
Right.
want it here. Okay, we have the equipment to do it. That's not what the plan says, but that's what you want. You're the customer.
Because I suppose, and this is stop me if you think I'm going too far. We say no, they tear it down. Then a month later, they go back, ask for a new permit to situate it where it is now, and then they're back here for a variance, and then we're sort of considering the substance of it. I mean, we talking about something that's somewhat economically wasteful just to make a point? I mean, I know I'm kind of cutting against what I was saying earlier, but
I don't really care personally.
okay, no, I'm
The
just
lump
thinking
of
out
coal
loud.
That's beaten under here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nothing sets a precedent.
Right.
It was always hammered into me.
Right.
However, the solar company, they understand how to do business in the area because that's their job. They have a surveyor go out. It's a licensed surveyor with a stamp who's going to put a plan together, who's going to reference the zoning bylaws. So when they put that plan together, they're following the zoning bylaws. And I could can't guarantee, but with a high degree of certainty that that plan was presented, was agreed upon, they showed up to install, and somewhere along the line, a decision was made to move it because it was more convenient, didn't block the driveway.
Yeah, or
I have an idea, but I'm not sure if this is doable or not.
Go, fire
For
away.
for this one, can they have another round with a certified plot plan with the setbacks to show us another option or a better option? It's something we can discuss really, not something just already done. Done on site and just it's a fact.
Well, one, I mean, that wouldn't happen during this hearing. I don't think we would continue to do that. Two, the permitting process, because they did apply for a permit to install this, the permitting process would have required that. So my assumption is if I were to go into the permit eyes to look up the building application, there would be a full package there showing a certified plot plan, because I build and deal with stuff, and that's going to be required. You're touching anything outside, every building inspector wants a stamped certified plot plan showing where the existing structure is, where the boundaries are, and where the setbacks are. So I'm going to go with the assumption that, and I've dealt with the building inspector here in town for long enough, that that would have certainly been a requirement.
Because
and as far as options, our job isn't to consider options, our job is to consider what's in front of us. So our job is not to be the problem solvers and help them figure out where to put it. It is to apply the zoning bylaws to the situation we have.
Actually, when I'm saying that, because, okay, I'm not assuming that they have something complying with the regulation, because if they have something applying, they will not be here today. But at least maybe for this one, I'm not sure where is the driveway.
It's right on the boundary. So,
okay,
I mean, I don't need a setback to see that.
Yeah, okay. Maybe somewhere behind. Maybe there is something better than this. We have a better setback, better than that 5 feet.
But I guess, what are you getting at?
Oh.
What is it you're trying to achieve?
Better numbers than this setback of 5 feet. They are proposing right now, at least.
Well, that's not what we're doing. What we have now is it's installed, it's non-compliant. We've been asked, that they've come to us for a variance for a non-compliant. They're non-compliant with our zoning bylaws. They're looking for a variance. A variance is a hardship. But the question is, the hardship generally deals with special circumstances related to the soil condition, shape, or topography of such land or structure that a little interpretation of the provision of the Town of Easton zoning bylaws involves substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, etc. There's one thing when the land creates the hardship. There's a different thing when the property owner creates the hardship themselves.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's really what's before us.
Well, as I look at the plan, there's a shed back here that is also within the...
Yeah, I mean, that could be pre-existing for all we know. We just don't know, and that's not before us anyway.
You'd need a variance though anyway, right? If it was
Well, I mean, if it's under most towns, it's 100 square foot. If it's under 100 square foot, you typically don't need a building permit for a accessory structure. Okay, so
there was a motion to approve on the table.
And there was no second, so it died.
Okay.
So at this point, we don't have one.
Okay. Well, I think we need to make an alternative motion that I'll make, which is I'll make a motion to deny the application for the variance.
There's a motion on the floor to deny the variance. Is there a second? I mean, it's either be approved or denied. We got to pick one. I'm going to second it. I generally try and stay out of it as a chair. So the first, I'm second. Any debate? Discussion? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of denying the variance application? That's 2 deny.
Green?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you had 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So a no vote is to say you disagree with the denial. So this is for anybody saying no. That's one. Is there, so you're
I'm
abstaining?
just, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of on the fence. I really am. I'll tell you. If I may, I feel like I don't like it at all. They obviously should have come to and done this in the first place. They shouldn't have put it up beforehand. But
I'm giving you leeway because we already had open for discussion.
I will. Then I won't say anything. I'm not looking for leeway. I'm just.
I get it, but I'm just trying to stick to Robert's rules a little bit.
All right.
So.
I'm not trying to break any rules.
Yeah. So it's a yes, which is a decline, a no, which is a not decline, or an abstain.
So I am going to vote against the motion.
So to not deny it.
To not deny it, right.
Okay. So 3-2.
Yeah.
So to deny it was John, myself, and Miriam. Doesn't. Need 4.
Can we reopen the discussion?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's already passed. All right, moving on.
I don't understand. I'm not sure what we
What
just
did we
did.
do?
We didn't-
3-2, it failed.
So what happens to the solar system?
So it's allowed to keep, it's allowed. So it won't go to building now, because building won't go to the building inspector now, because it's going to allow to maintain. That's what we allow. That's what we vote. That's what the vote was for.
So, okay.
All right, just, so it stays.
It stays.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a constructive grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't grant it, we didn't deny it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right, moving on.
That was.
Yeah, so Union Street, Washington Street. So on this one, it's going to be John, Tom, Jeremy, myself, and Ron. Jeremy, do you want to read this one into the public?
I will. 64 Washington Street, right? The Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 17th at 6 p.m. at the Easton Town Hall, Colleen Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. On the petition of Barry Crimmins, petitioner, and Gilson A. Oliveira Facella and Bethany L. Oliveira Facella, owners, for property located at 8 Union Street and 64 Washington Street, Easton, Assessor's Map 4U, lots 74 and 78, for variances pursuant to Easton Code Book, Chapter 235, Zoning, Section 235-54, Capital B, Subsection 3, and Section 235-16, Capital B, for dimensional relief for lot area, frontage, and setbacks to subdivide 8 Union Street to create a buildable lot at the rear of 8 Union Street and 64 Washington Street. The proposal will also require a special permit, common driveway, and definitive subdivision from the Planning and Zoning Board, and will be heard at a separate public hearing in the future. As for comments, Affordable Housing Trust, not applicable. Board of Health, recommended. Building Department, not recommended. DPW, no comment. Environmental Planner, not applicable. Fire Department, no comment. Historical Commission, not applicable. Planning and Zoning Board recommends. Police Department, complete. Water Division, No comment.
Mr. Crimmins, you ready, sir?
Yes. May we approach, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
If I could, for the board through the chair, I made a color. I have some 11 by 17s I printed. I know it's kind of hard to see with the plan and the different layers. So just for everybody, the color coding is to make it a little bit easier to see the proposal. And at the end, when Mr. Crimmins is done, I can explain it if need be. But the coloring made it a lot easier to see given how busy the plan is and kind of an unusual nature of the petition.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, for the record, Attorney Barry R. Crimmins of 909 Washington Street in Stoughton, here on behalf of the applicants, who one of them just disappeared, Mr. and Mrs. Gilson Oliveira Fasella. Bethany is there. Gilson is in the red shirt next to her now. With me here tonight at the table is Mr. Frank Riblin, who's a registered professional land surveyor who prepared the plan that you have in front of you, and that is up on the screen. I hope I'm not blocking, Mr. Curran, am I blocking your view there? Okay.
No, I'm good.
So let me describe this rather unique project, and if I may. So our clients own this property here at 8 Union Street. It's a single-family home. It was built around 1900. You're all familiar with the homes, particularly at the beginning of Union Street. They're all older homes. And then they also own the property that you see highlighted here at 64 Washington Street. What's unique about this property is the 8 Union Street property, which when you look at the lots on either side of it, 6 Union to the left, 12 Union to the right, the property actually goes back and includes all of that land in the rear. So that land in the rear is all part of 8 Union Street. If you were to look at the assessor's map, you would see probably one of the most unique shaped lots I've seen in a long time. For that matter, 64 Washington Street, because you can see the outline here, has somewhat of a unique shape as well, but that's not really pertinent to the application before you. What is pertinent to the application and what we are asking for is it's a subdivision, as was read into the record, that we will have to go before the Planning and Zoning Board for approval for, to basically create this line here in the rear of what will be, hopefully, the rear of 8 Union Street, which will square off the back of that lot and pretty much keep it in line with the properties on either side of it. And I think for most people looking at it, you know, it kind of makes sense. You would think that's where the rear of the property would be located, notwithstanding the fact that, as I mentioned, it includes that large parcel in the back there. In so doing, we are reducing the size, the lot area, 8, bless you. We are reducing the size of 8 Union Street's lot area. And that is one of the 2 variances that we're asking for relative to minimum lot area. The second variance that we're asking for is that large parcel in the back, what is now part of 8 Union Street, would be a separate lot. It'll be about a 3.5 acre lot in area. It will comply in all respects with the table of dimensional and density regulations, with one and only one exception. It will not have any frontage on Washington Street. Nor will it have frontage on Union Street. However, our proposed access will be via a common driveway that you see here, which up to this point is an existing driveway at the 64 Washington Street property. and I believe I already mentioned, but if I did, our clients own both properties, 64 Washington and 8 Union Street. So that back parcel, what we are referring to in the application as what would be 64 rear Washington Street or 64 Washington Street rear, will be the large parcel in the back, but that will require a lot frontage variance from this board because it doesn't have any frontage. However, once again, our clients own the 64 Washington Street property, so their access would be by means of that proposed common driveway, which again, as was mentioned, if this board were to see fit to grant the 2 variances that we're asking for, we would have to go before the Planning and Zoning Board, both for the subdivision, which in effect is that rear line for 8 Union Street, as well as the approval for the common driveway. I believe I heard mentioned during the reports that I think the Planning and Zoning Board, if I'm not mistaken, recommended an approval, but obviously that's not holding on their actions when we get in front of them. So again, we're looking for an area variance for 8 Union Street. We're looking for a lot frontage variance for the large parcel. And why are we doing this? Our clients would like to build, they live at 64 Union Street, 64 Washington Street, which is a 2-family dwelling. They also own, as I mentioned, 8 Union Street. They would like to build a single-family dwelling in the back, as you see there at the end of the driveway. They would also like to build an ADU for Mrs. Facella's, well, it was going to be for her parents. Her mom passed away last month, so the plan is for her dad to move in there so he can be closer to them. So the ADU was showing, it's an as-of-right use, but we want to show the board exactly what it is that we're looking to do here and why we're looking to do it. So single-family dwelling for our client's use, the ADU proposed for Mrs. Facella's father's use. You notice the wetland area here, and Frank can talk about this in more detail or respond to any questions if the members have any questions relative to that. But suffice it to say, you see the bold line is the buffer zone. We're staying outside of the buffer zone as far as the wetlands are concerned, both in terms of the dwelling and the access to the dwelling. So that is the proposal before you. Once again, we're requesting a lot area variance for 8 Union Street, and we're requesting a lot frontage variance for the large parcel. The large parcel will end up being 3.5 acres, Frank, I believe. Yes, it would be, yes. And 8 Union will be about 17,000 square feet. Correct, 17.6. Okay, the only thing we're changing on 8 is that rear line. We're not changing any sidelines, so nothing changes in terms of setbacks or anything of that nature. We're not changing 64 at all, with the exception of the common driveway, which will be proposed to gain access to the back parcel. It is a very heavily wooded lot presently. It's hard to tell, obviously, from a 2-dimensional plan, but I believe in Mr. Kirkland's report, if you have it, he included an aerial view of the site, and you can see that it's a very heavily wooded lot. I say that because the plan would be to keep as much of that natural vegetation as possible to provide a natural buffer for the homes and the back there around Kenneth Road off of Calvin. So we're going to keep as much of the natural vegetation there and obviously around this area where we're near the wetlands. So it will provide a natural buffer for the neighbors. So there's very little, if any, I think there's very little impact, certainly little, if any, negative impact to the neighbors. There's no additional traffic per se. We're talking about accessing the parcel from Washington Street, Route 138. Again, the nature of 8 Union is going to remain as a single-family home. 64 Washington Street is going to remain as a 2-family dwelling. And so we're really just proposing, in terms of additional units or structures, if you will, the additional single-family home and the additional ADU in the back. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to turn it back to the board, see what questions you may have either of me, Mr. Rivlin, or our clients. Thank you.
We'll go to the public first. Jean, do you have
I
a
do
member of
have
the
a
public?
thank you, member of the public. Thank you, I'm not sitting. Thank you very much. I have a couple of questions. One is just trying to get my head around, it seems to me a rather complex problem here. How do we reconcile this notion of the doctrine of merger, right? So we have doctrine of merger where we have contiguous lots in common ownership. Now we're separating, as a matter of fact, we've got 3 lots in common ownership. And we're not improving the nonconformity in any way. I mean, is there not a way, for example, to take the 8 Union Street property, keep it as it is, but keep it at least a conforming lot with 40,000? It's a 40,000 square foot zoning, correct?
Right.
So you've got 140,000 plus square footage on the top of that. It doesn't all have to be buildable, but why would you not? Why are you making 2 non-conforming lots when right now you have a previously existing non-conforming lot due to lot frontage, correct? So you have 8 Union is pre-existing non-conforming,
right,
because of its lot frontage is not 150 feet. But in every other respect, it's a conforming lot. Now you want to create not only a non-conforming lot by dividing the back lot, but you want to make, I mean, other than, we don't see the lines except on paper, right? So, yeah, I suppose you say the line makes sense, but why are we not making this conforming?
So I think the short answer to your question, if I may through you, Mr. Chairman, is could we make 8 Union conforming relative to lot area? The short answer is yes, we could. We could move that line and have sort of what we have today, a lot that goes back and then goes over and then opens up in the back. I don't see what we would gain in doing that. And I don't make light of the fact of the nonconformity. I'm not suggesting that, well, you know, we're just ignoring the fact that we're creating a non-conforming lot. We're not doing that. What we're trying to do, I think, is balance the equities between what the bylaw requires and what is practical in terms of land use. And I think when you balance those equities to take this lot and then kind of run it up here, probably to the driveway, and then over here in some configuration, it would accomplish the lot area.
Yeah.
But I don't know to what gain.
But then to what detriment then to the attempts to build on the back lot? So if you were to run any line that allowed you to have the plan just as you've got it, you know, but just have a different lot line, so that 8 is at least no less non-conforming than it was when you started. I mean, it just seems to me that you picked kind of an arbitrary line that flies a bit in the face of the fact that we aren't here to create non-conformities, correct?
Correct.
And the other notion I have is that there's more frontage on 8 Union than there is on 64, correct?
Right.
So, and you're proposing a common driveway that you're saying should be 10 feet long, but I think the bylaw says it's got to be, 10 feet wide, it has to be 12, or you said it's 8 and it's got to be 12 or something like that. But that's for you and the planning board to hash out, I guess. But why would you want access through that? Because the way it's currently shown, the 8 Union does have a way that would be a normal way to come out and have access to Union Street instead of Washington, correct? And the way, it's not all that unusual. So I'm just trying to, I just think our board, it seems to me, or this board, excuse me, I'm a member of the public, but that this board is kind of find its own balance, right, with complying with the zoning bylaw.
Right.
Maybe I should stop talking and have you tell me why you can't make a conforming lot, or
No, you know, strictly speaking, 8 from a standpoint of lot area could be made conforming. It doesn't make it a conforming lot because we still don't have the frontage.
Yeah, I
Okay, so we're
understand,
not.
but it's not
we're
less,
we're
it's not less
we're not
non-conforming.
getting a conforming lot out of adding area. We're making the area conforming, but the lot itself would not be conforming.
Right, but you're not, yes, but
Right.
you're not increasing the non-conforming, which you're doing severely here.
Well, right, but I think and again, that's why I mentioned when you look at the lots on Union Street on either side, and you look at the age of the homes, and you know, I don't think, particularly when you look at 6 units, I don't think anyone would look at 8 and have it jump out at them as being, and it's such an undersized lot as to defy any logic.
Okay.
Right? This land is not being used today because of that kind of crazy configuration.
And you're not
So-
making not sense, but you're also not, to me, speaking the language of our of zoning, of what we have to look at and give you a variance, which is different.
That's why we're here asking
Okay.
for the variance.
So thanks. I have another question on the deed. So there was a deed that talked about the deed from the trust to the current owners, I believe, done in 2010. And I don't have it, but it talks about an easement, or it doesn't even use the term easement, a right of passage across 64, the property of 64. So it's talking about, there it is, I'm sorry. It's the quitclaim deed, Exhibit A. On the third paragraph from the bottom, together with the right to pass and repass over a strip of land 10 feet wide on land of Frank B. Randall, which I'm assuming.
And I'm sorry, which
I beg
deed
your
are
pardon.
you
Exhibit
referring?
A, quitclaim deed of the Gora Gilman.
For the 8 Union Street
Yeah.
property?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was given a right to pass and repass. But the deed is from, I'm a little I'm concerned about overlap in terms of a trust, and speaking of merger, we have the Gora Gilman trustees. Are they any beneficiaries at all in any of the sale of this?
They were the sellers
They were the
to
sellers.
our clients.
Well, but this, as sellers, where is the right to pass and repass? Is there a recorded easement?
Right, so Mr. Rivlin's showing on the plan that it's just to the left of the 8 Union Street property. It's actually on the 6 Union Street property and runs along the property line.
Okay, so the intent then was to have access over that to Union Street, not to Washington Street, is that correct?
Well, it was somebody's intent. Keep in mind that easement, I'm not sure when that was created. My sense is that easement was probably carried forward from prior grants of the property.
Well, clearly the sellers couldn't grant it, right? It had to, it's not up to the sellers to grant the easement. They're not granting the easement. The easement comes from the owner of 6. Correct?
Well, some predecessor
Right.
entitled to 6
Correct.
Union
Okay.
granted an easement to some predecessor entitled to 8 Union.
Okay.
Now, when that happened, Frank, do we even know when that happened?
Well,
You read up?
I can't answer that
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
But it
Yeah.
has some, you
But
know.
that really doesn't help us. We actually looked at a couple of different options in terms of trying to gain access from Union directly to the back. But once again, as you can see, it would have meant going across this part of 64 Washington Street. And it would have meant, having vehicles traveling pretty close to the 6 Union Street property. So it just didn't seem practical for us, doesn't really accomplish what we're trying to accomplish.
Even considering the existing little kind of a T-handled added bit of property at the top there, just to zig it out?
Yeah, unless we went up here and then took a 90-degree turn across to the back.
But
You don't want to do that with a driveway.
Well, you don't unless you got a variance that has strict, unless you're dealing with a variance,
Mhm.
and you could have a more conforming property otherwise. Okay, I think I've beat that to death, but how are you going to, oh, I'm sorry, yes, sir.
I believe I can shed a little bit of light on that easement that you were referring to. If we will look at the unusual shape of 64 Washington Street.
Yep.
64 Washington Street was originally 2 parcels of land. The deed for that describes both parcels separately. And you can imagine just where the line would connect them right, running basically parallel to Washington Street. This 10-foot right-of-way was in that deed, and it grants that rear parcel, which would have at that time been a completely landlocked parcel. It gives that parcel of land a 10-foot access out to Union Street.
Correct.
Now, what the date of that original conveyance that created that, I have not done a back title search to see how far back it would go.
Okay. My understanding based on case law that I have reviewed is that if you have a landlocked parcel, you don't necessarily get to pick your access to your whatever public way. That you can look to historical record to find out what had been intended prior. And that, I was just wondering if you would address, and you have, the access to Union, why Washington and not Union, for one thing.
That access was to the rear of parcel of the current lot shown as 64 Washington was that access.
Okay. So and just to finish up with the easement part, are you anticipating that the current owners of 64 will grant an easement? Is that how it's going to work? Are they going to
For the
grant?
common driveway?
Yes.
We own the property as well. We own both parcels.
Oh, that's right.
My clients
that's
own
right.
both
That's right. You
parcels.
own all 3. That's right.
Right.
Okay. Yes, but the. Oh, okay. I missed. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I originally thought that. Okay. I think I have maybe one more question. What is the proposed square footage of the new residence?
The square footage of the lot?
Even no,
The
the
dwelling?
home, the dwelling.
I don't know if that
I
decision
don't-
has been made.
Oh,
right?
okay.
It's a schematic footprint that was
Yeah.
shown
I
on
see.
here. We're trying to assure the board that all work would be outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, but the actual architectural plans and footprint has not
Oh, I
been
see.
determined
Okay,
at this
fine.
time,
Thank
to
you.
my knowledge.
Thank you very much. All right, one more second. Thank you. Okay. So again, when we read the zoning act, the zoning law, excuse me, it requires that the owners minimize nonconformities wherever possible. So I think my final request coming back is how do we avoid this concept of merger, of having?
We don't have a merger issue here, with all due respect. 8 Union Street has a dwelling on it, and it includes that back land. 64 Washington has a dwelling on it as well. Although they're in common ownership as of 2020, when our clients bought the second property, those are existing parcels with existing dwellings. The law would not require, the merger doctrine would not require the merger of those 2 parcels.
Okay, but not of the new more non-conforming one and I guess I'm still wondering how you get to create two non-conforming lots out of one.
If this board sees
All
fit
right,
to
thank
grant
you.
the variances, that's how we can do it. I don't mean to sound flip.
No,
but
that's fine.
That's why we're here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
No further questions. Thank you.
Any other members of the public?
Oh, the public.
We're not opposed.
Bethany, why don't you hold your comments till, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman,
That's fine.
till we get done and see if they want to add anything?
Sure.
Let the
All right.
board ask you questions.
Yeah, let's, all right, we'll start with the board. Which direction do we want to start?
You want to?
Question.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just curious, we've had several of these situations, and I often wonder why you don't just create a condominium type ownership of the buildings, and that would do away with having the driveway easement, or access. And
Well,
if you understand what,
yeah, I think I do. We're not in a zone that would permit multifamily, to the best of my knowledge. So if I'm following your question,
yeah,
if
well, you have,
we
it's a
kept
two,
8 Union Street,
it's a
that's the one-
two-family,
Right.
and you have the single family on Union, and then on the potential lot, you have the main house and an ADU.
Right.
And the way I understand the ADU, you could put another one on Union Street.
Well, it's still
Hypothetically.
It still has to conform to the setback, et cetera.
Yeah, all right.
And you got to have the capacity for septic.
Yeah.
And maybe this, at the end, Mr. and Mrs. Fasella might want to speak to this issue. Having this land in the back, which today provides no functional utility whatsoever.
It was probably
just-
originally developed as a woodlot for the neighborhood.
Well, perhaps,
Yeah,
I didn't-
going way back.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. It may have been, because, as I said, when you look at that lot, the way it looks today with 8 Union and then going back there, it does beg the question, what was the intent of that large parcel in the back? But today, it provides no functional utility whatsoever. I mean, here's the tax map. I think you folks have this as well, and you look at it, you see this large parcel. Well, for the Fasellas, what that provides them is an opportunity to build a newer home on a lot that's going to be larger than any lot in the area. You look at the lots on Kenneth Road or even on Union, I mean, you could spread out the assessor's map as far as you want to go. You're not going to find a lot that size, certainly not in this area. And it allows them to do the ADU in a way that doesn't put it right on top of the existing house at 8 Union, which, you know, if we try to put it there, again, as you folks know, an ADU can be done by right anywhere, but as the chairman mentioned, still has to meet setback requirements. So it's just not practical to put it at 8.
Right.
64 is already an existing 2-family, so, just, they hope to have their home there, and they hope to have their father in the ADU right next to them.
I'm hoping to do that at my
Yeah.
son's. He doesn't know it yet. No, I have no opposite to the idea. It utilizes the land more effectively. I noticed the driveway, it appears to be going right through the swimming pool.
Yes, we noted on the plan that the pool and gazebo are to be removed. They're planning on removing those features.
I thought it would have been fun to build a bridge, but.
Me too, yeah. Then you have-
That'd be cool. You could do it.
My initial plan that I initially prepared for the client was to pull the driveway further south, saving the pool. And it says, no, take that curb out of it, put it through the pool, we're getting rid of it.
I'm a pool lover.
Anything else? You're all set?
Yeah.
All right.
No dog kennels, right?
I think that's 3 structures down.
Yeah. I have no questions, thank you.
They could put the dog kennel in the back.
I have no questions either.
Firewood?
I have no questions.
Oh, you have
No, I have no. No.
Questions to go.
My wife would tell me you actually got me, to stop talking. That's actually a good thing. So.
Right, John.
I have a few, and forgive me if I'm treading ground that we've already covered, but I read and reread this several times before I got here tonight and was thoroughly confused. I'm not anymore. I think I have a better understanding of what you want. But so right now, 8 Union is non-conforming in terms of the frontage on the road.
Correct.
But it's conforming in terms of the size of the lot.
Yes, very much so.
And what you're proposing is to make 8 Union non-conforming in a second way
Huge addition.
by reducing the square footage for less, would it be 40,000? I don't, right.
Paved
Okay.
driveway
And it's,
to about here.
you've explained why you don't think it's practical to be running a common driveway through 8 Union to get to that back parcel because of the, I mean, that diagram's a little confusing. I was looking at this, the map, Exhibit
Okay,
B, and
yeah.
it actually gives, to me, a better sense of exactly what's going on, which
Yeah.
is that you've got this little panhandle. It almost looks like an upside-down Texas, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you don't, it's not, from your perspective, practicable to run a common driveway through there.
No, if I may through you, Mr. Chairman, for the simple reason, Mr. Curran, that 64 Washington just gives us that much more land area to work with for the driveway, particularly as a common driveway.
Right.
8 Union is a lot more narrow than 64 Washington. So putting in the driveway there, including as you described, and I think if you have my brief, this is Exhibit B to the brief, which has that plan that I think you would just
Right.
reference. You would have to do sort of this, literally a right turn, and then a left turn.
Right.
To stay out of the wetlands.
And if you did the right turn and then took the left turn into that back parcel, would you be traversing over wetlands or something that's wetland protected?
Well,
Be another reason.
We have a small area. And
We'll be close.
once again, I think it's a question of, could we do it? And I think the answer is yes, we could. Here's the buffer line here to the wetlands. So theoretically, you could come back here, take this right, and then take a left, staying out of the buffer, and then pick up that driveway there. But it just seems, once again.
I think you have a challenge getting a fire truck through there.
Yeah, and that was good. There's a lot of challenges, I think, with doing that. And it just.
And it might be that you couldn't get site plan approval because of if you were running this common driveway the way I was just describing, you might not be able to get site plan approval.
Yeah.
Running it through that way. You might not get it the other way either, but it's.
I'm a lot more confident with what we're proposing, simply because with the two-family and the back of 64, it more or less already is paved in that area. So what we're really doing is simply extending that into the back area there.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, we looked at a lot of different options. I don't want to remind my client how long we've been going with this project with different versions of the plan. And once again, that's not suggest that, okay, so now this is a take it or leave it type of thing. But we looked at a lot of the issues that you folks are raising. And Frank prepared several versions of this plan. And at the end of the day, this is the one that we came up with that we thought was the most practical, and at the same time, again, came as close to honoring, if not the exact letter of the law of the bylaw, certainly the spirit of the bylaw.
If you're going straight back on 8 Union, you get to that little narrow corridor, what I described as a panhandle. Your clients don't own the other side of that. That's owned by somebody else, right? Isn't that part of?
That's actually that would be part of 64.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
That got me when I started looking at it.
Yeah.
That was one of the original plans. We had the driveway going up 8, crossing 64, and then again picking up with.
Okay. All right. Now I'm getting more clarity. So why do you think it's better to just have it run through?
64?
Yes. 464 Washington Street.
number one, there's already an existing curb cut that we would be utilizing. There's already an existing driveway that we would be utilizing. And it's more or less, until you get to the back area, it's basically a straight shot. And then once you get to the back, as you can see, it's a gradual curve to the left. And then it straightens out back to the house. So it's fewer turning movements than what we would have to do if we were to put it at 8. Not to mention having to create, one of the things I talked to my client early on with this is, do we tear down 8 altogether and put the driveway in there? And for obvious reasons, that didn't seem practical either. It's a possibility, sure, but
And this is all going to be commonly owned?
yes,
All
correct.
the,
Correct.
The lots, the structures?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
Almost like because all my stuff has already come up, so. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, and I don't know if Gil or Bethany, do you want to speak, or do you have anything you want to say?
Do you guys want to
Maybe-
hear from us?
All right, we do.
Yeah.
Come up to the microphone and.
Maybe, Bethany, focus on why you're looking to do what you're looking to do, if you'd like.
Okay.
And introduce yourself.
Hi, Bethany Oliveira Vasella, 64 Washington Street, but we also own 8 Union Street. So we've been trying to do this for 5 years, and then we got Barry on to help us and Frank. And so my parents are older, and I lost my mom. The ADU was supposed to be for both of them, but she's gone. We have kids. We raise our autistic grandson. He's amazing, but he needs a lot, and that plan and that would help us keep him really, really safe. He got out on 138 once, and we're very lucky that traffic stopped. And now we have, we wear keys to sleep and have 58 locks in the house. But, so that's really, really important to us for reasons that obviously they don't have to do with the variances or the zoning. But we did try other ways. We've gone several different plans, and we've paid lots of money to try to find the best way for you guys and as well for us. And that spot that you can't really see between 8 and the back is literally like this wide. You couldn't even drive a car. It's like very unusual. I don't know why they would have done that in the beginning either. You guys have any questions for me?
No. We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Oh, wait.
No, I was going to say a motion.
Okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? That's 5-0. Any discussion?
I guess I have a question on question discussion. Are we going to vote separately on the
variance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we would have to make a motion to approve the variance requesting the reduction of the lot size on 8 Union Street.
Yep.
Okay. And then, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Anybody want to start the discussion? Or we'll start with 8 Union.
Okay.
With the variances making a lot, pre-existing non-conforming lot, more non-conforming.
All right. Well, I'll make a motion to make the currently non-conforming lot at 8 Union even more non-conforming.
All right, So your motion, okay, do we have a motion on the floor? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And a second from Mr. Hamburger. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? That's 5-0. We'll move on to 64 Washington. Again, variance request for this is the
lot frontage.
Yeah, it's just the frontage.
Right, correct.
There's no frontage.
Again, pre-existing, non-conforming, again, straightforward.
Well, I don't know if it's not
Is it
pre-existing
64?
because now it's
Would it be
it's
64?
it's a new lot now.
Oh, I see. Because we're actually that back lot line was always there.
It's two variances for the same property.
Yeah.
So 8 Union goes all the way back into the larger
Right,
lot.
because it's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
so the other variance is actually for the 64R Washington, and the variance is that there is no frontage.
Right.
What about the common driveway?
It's not considered frontage
That's
for
not
the
a-
purpose of the lot.
Right, but the
And
public
regardless, it's not for the zone. It's not if it were considered, it's not enough.
the public driveway or the shared driveway is going to be an application in connection with the Washington Street
Right.
property.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And then Mr. Crimmins will have to do the deed work on that to separate them out and create the easement, and
Right.
et cetera.
Right.
So I gets big news.
All right. So I'll make a motion to approve the requested variance for, we're going to call it,
64R.
we'll call it 64R.
Yeah.
That did not, that there'd be no frontage on,
Yeah, the variance is a property with no street frontage.
with no street frontage. I was going to say, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so there's a motion on the floor to approve the variance request with no frontage.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Hamburger. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? That is 5-0. Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Was there a special permit we had to consider on the
Nope, this one was these were just variances.
shared driveway?
That's to the planning board.
Oh.
Planning board will.
We're just considering the variances. Okay, we still have a couple of items to take care of. Meeting minutes from January. Everybody have a chance to review the meeting minutes?
Yes.
So the meeting minutes are both the general session and the executive session.
2 separate ones.
Right, so we'll have 2 votes on that too?
Yes.
And the executive session, has to be on a roll call vote. So the general meeting minutes of January 6th, do I have a motion on the floor?
Yeah, I'll move to approve the minutes from the January 6th meeting.
Motion for Mr. Curran to approve, do I have a second? Mr.
Second.
Skinner. All those in favor, it's a simple hand vote, 5-0. All right, executive session meeting minutes, it's a roll call vote, so you gotta say your name and yes or no.
Okay.
So do we have a motion?
We have a question in the back.
It's a vote to approve but not release.
Vote to approve but not release.
Can I ask, does it matter that I wasn't here for it, or?
That's always a great question. I mean, if you haven't seen it, how can you vote on something that you haven't participated in? Right?
That's my point.
So, I mean, we could have you step off on that and have an alternate since you weren't here for that.
I think that's fine.
And obviously, I was there. I remember being there. Ron was there. Remember? Ron was there. Remember that?
I was there.
Ron was there.
Yeah.
And that was that.
So no one else can technically like vote on that, right? Because
Shouldn't. If they weren't
That's-
there
that's what I was- yeah.
to have read this and discussed it. Okay, so do we have a motion on the floor? This is to approve but not release.
I move to approve and not release the executive session meeting minutes from January 6,
Motion
2026.
approved from Mr. Skinner.
I'll second.
Second. And this would be a roll call vote. So Curran?
Yeah, I
Yes.
favor the motion, yes.
All right. Skinner?
Yes.
Cook, yes. Hamburger?
Yes.
Yes. So that's 4-0. Okay. And so this is the updated list. My phone number is all over the internet anyway, so if you crank call me on. So, just curious, Suzanne, what's this one here?
That's nothing.
Okay. All right.
What list was he talking about?
Ken, do you have anything you want to add, sir? Nope. Okay, nothing from the director. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Skinner, no discussion, all those in favor? That's 5-0. Thanks, everyone.